The kids jingle bells.
Merry Christmas!
It's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Holiday greetings and gifts.
The hell's this?
Saint Nicholas is not coming this year. Instead, a much darker, ancient spirit.
Everybody, hold on to each other.
Oh, I didn't actually watch the intro beforehand. I didn't know that it was just ending right there.
Dude, the title card pops up. That's it.
Yeah. How you doing today, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing better than you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do my best. You know, I've been struggling for like about 2 weeks now, being sick. So.
Listen, Dark Hour is sick. Everybody, I'm taking care of him, and he's gonna be here. I'm gonna take the reins a bit today because I don't want him to waste his precious voice that we all love.
Yes. Especially after almost shit in the bed in front of 16,000 people on open bar the other day.
Oh yeah. Camera problems, everybody. Thank God we have Fiona as our technician. Fiona is Two Hoses resident technician. She is the best. She helps us for everything. It is incredible to have Fiona on your side.
Well, luckily for me, I was able to turn it into a joke, which is something I like. I'm usually pretty good at that kind of stuff. So just like, yeah, I'm green because Godzilla and I'm sick. And it's just like,
yeah, atomic breath whenever.
Yeah. But yeah. So we got an interesting movie here today.
Yeah, really interesting movie and an interesting panel as well. But just before we bring in the panel, I do wanted to address some stuff because we did have 2 super chats from not last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is actually we skipped a week because of the way.
Yeah, we skipped a week.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't spoken to you at all lately.
Dude, I was gone. You forgot the entire weekend.
Well, yeah, you were out getting in touch with your animalistic side out in the woods somewhere.
Basically, yeah. Thank God I didn't get eaten by a bear, but it was cold. but yeah. So we've got a super chat. It's a super sticker for $1 from Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU. Thank you. And sorry we missed it last week. And the blue collar loser also for $2. Enzo, that pick was awful. I dated worse though, lol.
I don't know what that's in reference to, but no, I've known Blue Collar Loser for a while now, and yeah, some of his choices that he's made in women have been questionable, to say the least.
Well, thank you guys for the super chats, and sorry for missing it last week, but Dark Hour to you for the guests.
Yes. First, I think we're going to bring in, he's become a 3-week regular, and I'm going to make sure this shit never happens again, because as much as I love the guy, we can't be having somebody on this often, and that's Stupenzo.
Hello. I feel really stupid because I spent a long time like getting my Krampus shirt and my Santa hat and my lighting and my backdrop all nice.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
We're going to go off camera, so it's fine.
I should have told you ahead of time.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll save it for the Godzilla stream on Christmas Day. But yes, what was the last movie we were doing? Dodgeball? No, Nightmare.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Right.
So we technically we've done now 2 straight Christmas movies.
What picture did we share? Was he talking about Bridget Fonda or who's he? I don't know. Chris.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I have to rewatch that. Anyway, it's good to be back.
Yes, yes. Good to have you back. I'm just kidding. He's invited whenever. I try to mix it up and not have the same guests over like in a row too often. But Stupenzo is just very reliable. Like I just go, hey, have you seen this movie? Are you interested in talking about it? And he's like, sure. And I'm like, okay,
I've seen the movie and I am work from home. There's 99% chance I've seen the movie. So let's do. And probably easily
any movie that you suggest, Stupenzo has probably seen it already. So he's just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm ready.
Did I like it? That's a question. That's the only question. Ooh. I like this movie though.
Thank you, Stupenzo. I'll defend it.
But we have a couple of first timers coming up actually.
Yes.
This next guy you probably know from the chat section of Mr. Brown Alliance and a regular over on B-Sides. He's a guest like no otter. And that is Smilex.
Oh, that was a great pun. Thank you. Merry Fishmas.
And as I headbutt my microphone, very I like laughed as I said it and headbutted.
Merry Fishmas, everybody. Everyone got drinks? We're all ready?
I got some H2O.
Yeah, I got a drink.
Okay.
I decided to pour a cocktail at noon right after my cocktail. So we'll see how my stomach and bladder do.
I could drink, but alcohol just makes your if you have a raspy voice, just makes it raspier. So it's probably best I don't do that.
I don't know. The ladies might like it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be like this the whole time.
ASMR with Dark Hour.
Like everybody like Krampus. He's Austrian, and I'm Austrian too.
Sound like a chain smoker.
Dude, I honestly the way my voice has been lately, I might as well be. So it's great to have you on, Smilex. I know you and me have interacted a lot in the chat section for Mr. Brown Alliance. You were one of the first people I actually ever had like a back and forth with. There.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I always try to be nice to humans around Mr. Brown's. It's always good, and I've been coming in here watching you guys for some time now. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, long may it last.
I was one of the things is I immediately noticed. I was like, oh, he's named after the chemical from Batman 1989. I was like,
You'd be surprised how many people don't know that.
No, yeah, I got that.
How many people aren't giant nerds?
I know, right? We're on the internet.
I know what Smilex is.
But yeah, we're glad to have you on. This is a very interesting first film to have you discussing, so we'll go with that.
Oh
yeah, down with it. There's some fair reaction.
I've streamed with Smilex. I mean, we've streamed like at least 4 or 5 times.
I think so. Yeah. Haven't hurt each other yet. We haven't tried to bite each other.
I mean,
it's been pretty good so far.
Otters and cats. Who knew that they got along?
Of course.
But yeah, I guess we should get our our fifth guest. Sorry, our fifth member of the panel is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to speak English, ladies and gentlemen.
Dark Hour is breaking down right here.
I'm breaking down. Everyone. I can't do it. But this guy, this was the first time I've ever interacted with him. So in a world of professional pundits and expert examiners, one man dares not to collect a paycheck. He's the reviewer without revenue. He's the amateur analyst. I wrote that 5 minutes ago.
That's nice. A pretty good one.
It's a better intro than I could come up with. So
I wrote that 5 minutes ago while talking to you.
Nice. Multitask.
Dude, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's pretty tall order to be coherent and awake at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, but I'm here.
Yeah, you're on Dark Hour time.
I think,
it's 7 p.m. over here, man.
Yeah, I think that adds to the two hosts' majesty is the half the panel hungover from Friday Night America. You know, the other British half are all drunk.
The other half is just getting into the party mode.
Yeah.
Oh man, but dude, amateur analyst, man, it's great to have you on. For those who don't know, amateur analyst and I have been speaking to each other since before I even started my channel. So this is a long time coming, and this is the first time that I'm actually speaking to him face to face, digitally,
voice to voice.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for sure. It's a bit of an auspicious moment.
Oh yeah,
but,
dude,
I'm happy to be here. So happy to be here.
Man. So, I think that we'll do the roundabout, so we know everyone's dealings with the movie. So I think I'll start with Smilex or Stupenzo.
Let's just go. Let's go counterclockwise this time.
All right. So Smilex.
Smilex. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I saw this film upon release in the cinema, and I don't know what it was because it was. I get the impression this was strangely marketed. It was kind of difficult to work out exactly how much horror and how much comedy you were going to get from the trailer. So went in with very low expectations, but was pleasantly surprised by it. I've probably only watched it maybe once, possibly twice since then, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, this film.
Fuck yeah, man, dude! I'm there with you, exactly with you. What about you, amateur analyst?
I mean, I was completely unaware that this movie even existed before, like, you mentioned it to me. So I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many movies that just sort of slip between the cracks for me. Like, I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't watch like mainstream TV or anything. I don't think I've seen a TV ad for like it's 10 years. So. It's easy for me to miss, but yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was great. Good Christmas / Halloween, I guess, film.
Yeah, man.
It's a little bit of both.
Great.
Yeah,
it's better than I expected. That's for sure.
I would say that this one leans more toward the Christmas, just with the horror elements, as opposed to like a Nightmare Before Christmas, which is literally both. So
yeah, that's true. And also like the fact is that it's a proper Christmas movie. Actually, you can watch this on Christmas and enjoy it for 100%. And just not to mention, it's the fact that it's probably one of the best Krampus movies out there, because there are a fuck ton of Krampus.
That is why I thought I had seen this movie, because I had seen things called like Krampus and stuff. And then like I watched it, I was like, I have never seen this movie before. This is like.
Damn, I hope I watched the right one.
This is you can practically smell the nutmeg and cinnamon when you're watching this film.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Well, believe it or not, I'm actually quite familiar with the Krampus mythology. Me and my musician buddies back in Austin, we would always celebrate Thanksmas, like home Friendsgiving between Christmas and Halloween, between Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I don't know. We'd always just have this Krampus joke, Krampus, memes and inside jokes. And it's more of the Venture Brothers Krampus design, where he's got like goat legs and upright goat body and a little wicker basket backpack that he keeps children in. And he has a little stick broom that that Smilex is holding that he whips kids with. It's just funny. But like, then naturally this Krampus movie's coming out, and it's by Michael Dougherty, who I was a huge Trick or Treat fan.
Yes.
And Trick or Treat was one of these movies that was like, I don't know, we saw trailers for it like I think when the 300 movie was coming out or something. I can't remember. It feels like ages ago. And then like years later, it finally comes out like straight to DVD. And it was such like a perfect holiday movie for Halloween.
It's the perfect Halloween movie.
So the idea that he's going to make this Christmas movie, I was like real excited about it and saw it in theaters and just had a blast with it. But it's definitely a more I guess family friendly than Trick or Treat, and didn't go through this horrible pre-production hell that Trick or Treat went through. But I was saying it was kind of a disappointing that Michael Dougherty did not get to make this Thanksgiving slasher film that Eli Roth did. As much as that was good, it would have been cool if Michael Dougherty did a Thanksgiving movie too.
Yeah, he would have been able to do all three in a row.
Holiday.
Yeah.
They weren't going to greenlight the movie at all. Like Universal said that they wouldn't greenlight it unless he made it PG-13. So that's why he was forced to.
And I think we all, including the director, kind of forgive it more because it's kind of one of these fun morality tales. And like kind of like Smilex said, like just like how Trick or Treat had like the perfect like autumn leaves and all the backdrop was just so perfect. Attention to detail, the same was with this movie, especially the opening, like the first act and the opening scene. It's like it's such a Christmas movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, the spirit of consumerism.
That is probably the greatest Black Friday scene I've ever seen. I'm assuming that was supposed to be Black Friday.
I think it is.
Yeah, probably.
It's also like I think it's more like the Christmas rush, like because I think it takes place December 23rd or something is the first day. But everyone needs to get Christmas presents before Christmas Eve. I think is kind of what they were going for. But just like the look of it, everything has that Steven Spielberg like haze. Mm-hmm. And
we'll get into it.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
Are we peeking too early? Sorry.
Dark Hour.
Everyone's really excited. But yeah, I briefly touched on this. This was my first time watching this actually. So I don't really have much of a background with it. I mean, I do have a background. My grandmother was from Austria, so like I do have a background with like Krampusnacht and like it's but actually the woman, the Omi or Oma in this is actually reminds me a lot of my grandmother. Very similar woman. And
same here.
Yeah, so I don't really have too much of a background with it, like I said, but the I just say that it was a fun movie. Whether or not it's a in air quotes a good movie is up for interpretation, but it's definitely fun and entertaining. That's for sure.
Uninspired will fight you for that.
I've always maintained you can like bad things, and it can be a bad movie that's entertaining. It is possible.
Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, even I do have some
issues to the choir, buddy.
I mean, yeah. Even I do have some issues with the movie. Well, I guess since you're done, I'll just go on mine so that we can continue and
Yeah, just assume I'm done there. Yeah.
The meat of it. And well, yeah. So I watched Krampus when it first came out in the cinema, and I've been watching it every year for Christmas ever since. And yeah, I watched it yesterday to make the slides and stuff. I watched it today again to take some notes, and I'm gonna watch it again on the 24th. So yeah, it's a tradition for me. I just like the movie a lot. I feel like there aren't a lot of horror Christmas movies that are good and that revolve around the aspect of Christmas, because you've got like Black Christmas. I mean, Stupenzo, you can back me up on this. You've got Black Christmas and all the other weird Christmas movies you made me watch for Halloween.
Silent Night, Deadly Night,
and it's like none of them actually revolve around Christmas itself.
Yeah, I mean, Psycho is a Christmas movie technically,
and yeah. So look, you've got Jay Goodwin. Rare Exports is a Finnish movie that he told me to watch. So he said that it does do Krampus, however, it's R-rated, unlike this one. So Rare Exports is probably a good Krampus movie if Jay says it is. So I'll check that one out.
Yeah, like Dark Hour said, it's shocking how many times Krampus has appeared on film. I looked it up earlier. I was like, good God, there's like 20 different iterations.
They make
of
so
Krampus
many
on
every
film.
year.
Krampus the beginning, Krampus Origins.
So many of them are straight to DVD, but there's a lot of animated stuff he's been in. Like there was an episode of Scooby Doo where, of course, it was revealed he was like a robot, but like still, there's like he's all over the place. He's actually pretty well known.
Yeah, dude. I think it's because Krampus is probably an easy like Christmas horror movie to do, because it doesn't really take that much thought in case you want it to revolve around Christmas, as I said before. And plus, it's kind of like the Asylum, all those Exorcist movies. Oh, Exorcist this, Exorcist that. There's so many that, and most of them are trash too, anyways.
It seems like this particular film, though, that it kind of kickstarted it back into fashion again, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, while Krampus has been a thing for a while and sort of been here and there, I don't think I'd noticed it getting quite so popular until after this film came out. I mean, I was telling you before in Twitter how the Krampus run, which is a big thing in Germany and Austria, is now a thing in the UK as well. It's been kind of hijacked by the goths who make a big thing out of it. So there's a load of old goths that are doing the Krampus run, getting dressed up in costumes and running through a town.
Yeah, those Krampus parades are insane.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I've ever seen them.
Yeah, in real Krampus runs, you're supposed to like whip each other with like reeds too. It's like the whole
really,
yeah, like that. Like it's supposed to be like
so
it's
hot.
like. Yeah, basically it's like sticks and like people like it's like like using like a switch. It's like you're supposed to hit people as they go by.
Yeah, it's definitely for all those like heavy metal like kids. Yeah, they love that stuff. Krampus,
so it's kind of like a BDSM thing now.
Yeah, I always thought of well, there's also in Collateral, when Javier Bardem is talking to Jamie Foxx in that club, he tells him the story of Black Peter that they have. It's like the same thing,
You really struggle to say Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
I will say this: it is a little weird because Krampusnacht is actually like, depending on which country, it's either December 6th or 7th. So it's like the fact that this movie takes place on the 23rd is a little weird.
I think it's on the 4th.
Well, we see the calendar scenes, so maybe those are confusing me. I don't know.
We'll get into it, man. So we finally got Krampus up. Just before we go ahead, we've got a super chat from Waylon Bucephus for $1.99. Bucephus. Well, he said I can pronounce it however I want, so Bucephus.
Waylon fucktard. That's how I'm going to pronounce it then.
Waylon, we love you.
I love
Waylon.
We know Dark Hour's favorite is Thanksgiving.
Yes, I don't even. I'm not a Halloweener or a Christmas massive.
Chris Massives, yeah. So, what about you guys? Are you guys Halloweeners or Chris Massives? So, I think
yes,
with,
yes.
Well, we'll go down and up. Analyst, what about you?
Neither, I guess. I mean, I used to like Christmas, but as you get older, it just becomes annoying. But anything that makes me go outside and talk to people, not into it.
Wow.
Smilex.
I guess if I'm choosing, I will go with Christmas because you get more food. You get treats at Halloween, but it doesn't go on all day. I mean, Christmas is a day of just feasting, isn't it? Really, it's an excuse to absolutely overindulge. So yeah, I'm going with Christmas.
Well, there is the one thing about Halloween where like everything is just. This is more of a recent thing in history, but like when women get dressed up, it's just like a slutty version of and whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm changing my answer. Yeah, sorry, it's Halloween.
Like I'm not a nurse. I'm a slutty nurse.
You can be perfectly sexy on Christmas. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, man. Haven't you guys seen Mean Girls?
Oh my god. Those
Yeah,
were
there's
underage.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more creativity on Halloween though, so I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, my birthday is October 25th, and I celebrated, Schlocktober. So, I mean, just take a guess which I like more.
Yeah, he's not
Halloween
doing
or Christmas.
Schlockmas.
I thought about doing Schlockmas like next year for like Hallmark and Lifetime movies, and I
Oh my
floated the idea
God.
to Meg, and then she started like yelling at me, basically, like, "What? No, I am not doing that. You Schlocktober was such a fucking waste of time and a pain in the ass." I was like, all right, calm down, dear. I'm sorry.
Dude,
Hold on.
I mean, you guys know me.
This one sums it up right here.
Oh,
Jaden
God.
Smith eyes. I dress up as a slutty nurse for Kwanzaa.
Nice.
Kwanzaa.
That's one of my favorite jokes. Before we get into the movie, one of my favorite jokes of all time in anything is in Futurama when they encounter Kwanzaa Bot and he's handing out the yearly Kwanzaa book, which is just what the hell is Kwanzaa?
It's like 1,000 years in the future. We still don't know.
Oh man, and well, you guys know me. I'm a Halloween man through and through. Like, it's just the best. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I
always
believe that.
great for Halloween, man. I love horror movies. I just love everything that revolves around getting scared. So that's why Krampus is my favorite Christmas movie, because it's a scary Christmas movie. It's basically the best. And
Well,
it's
I
just,
remember.
like,
I remember
wonderful.
asking you for a list of your favorite horror films, and you basically gave me like the longest list of shit I've ever seen.
Dude,
So, yeah, I
it's-
believe that.
Oh man, horror movies are the great. I've even got like top 10 horror again cooking. So that'll
Top
be out
10
this
horror
Christmas.
again.
Oh yeah, top 10 horror, unknown horror. So top 10 horror movies you've never seen, and in brackets it says "I hope." So yeah,
Is
Even
Tom
when
Beaver's
it's
going to
like-
be on this one?
Even when
No.
it's like Christmas time, it's like time to watch holiday movies. I still want to watch like horror themed Christmas movies, like,
fuck yeah, man, dude. Look at
Jeez.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was really good. Eli Roth, man, he knocked it out of the park with that one.
Tim Dillon
So
getting a big
oh, yeah.
acting role. That's fun.
great. All right, well, hi everyone in the chat. We love you. We see you, and thank you guys for spending time with us. And we're gonna be breaking down Krampus, as we've been talking about it for the past 20 minutes already. So yeah, thank you guys for stopping by and spending your time with two hosts. And let's get into it, shall we? So, Universal, man.
Well, before we go any further, I have one of my terrible pieces of trivia is that he wanted to get the 80s version of the Universal
Yes.
logo.
I saw that. I read that the other day.
You should have.
I
That would've
really
been
just
good.
appreciate Universal for always being like the king of monster movies. As
Yes.
much as they
Yeah.
like try to branch out to better movies, they're always going to be known for the monster movies.
I
Always.
always appreciate that Universal is willing to mess around with their logo for the beginning of movies.
Any movie, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of studios won't even do this. They'll just be like, no, the brand is too important. Like Universal's like, hey, who gives a shit? Just
Yeah,
do
they
whatever.
did.
Change the
want.
language, do whatever. Who cares?
Remember
Uh,
Waterworld?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
Hell
Waterworld was the first one that I remember. Yeah,
Smilex, yeah.
the entire globe turning to all the landmass just disappearing. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only like other studio I think would be I think Fox or something like that, but
Yeah,
not even
Fox
the
has done it,
normal
yeah.
Fox. I think it's Fox Searchlight, because the one I remember mostly is Sunshine, because that was pretty cool.
They did it with
Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually.
Minority Report as well. That was Fox, and they sort of tinted it all with that kind of icy blue color that pretty much permeates that movie.
Yeah, man. But Universal, yeah, for amateur analysts' sake, fuck Universal. There you go.
No, it's Paramount I have my biggest beef with, but apparently Universal's worse. So
Oh, Universal sucks, man. I played like a 4-second clip of the Invisible Man 2020 trailer, and they struck me for that for no reason. I was like,
for
what
the
fuck?
trailer,
Yeah, for the trailer, man. They're
that's
horrible.
Creative Commons. That's they. Fuck
I had a
that.
real hard time with Brides of Dracula from them. Fucking 1970 movie. It's like, God, all right, guys. Sorry.
Man, I was gonna do an hour-long breakdown of the Mummy. I'm glad I didn't.
But you would have had to re-render that thing like 1,000 times to get that through
Yeah.
copyright.
Dude, I
Iron
can
Giant
imagine.
was hard enough, and damn, they
Legendary,
didn't care about
on
that
the other
movie.
hand. Legendary
Fuck
was on
yeah.
a roll for a while. there.
Pacific Rim, baby, Legendary, I love you. They gave me
Legendary Godzilla?
Pacific Rim. They gave me Godzilla. They gave me the entire MonsterVerse, basically.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Good stuff.
Yeah, a film by Michael Dougherty. And
this font's great. All these little hidden pentagrams and snowflakes and stuff. And
it's really, really good. I just feel like just this entire intro sums up everything I hate about Christmas. It's just it really does.
Secretly love about Christmas.
I love how the one guy who's like tasing them has like this giant shit-eating grin on, like he's been waiting to do it all day.
The man that likes his work. This is one of the few times that they actually left a set, isn't it? I think this is one of the only times that the cast actually go away to film.
So this was filmed in a mall in New Zealand, actually.
Right.
So,
Joe Mart.
Yeah, thank you, New Zealanders, for letting them film Krampus in your mall.
And the effects team is Weta, isn't it? So that's all based.
Yeah, it's not Weta Digital, but it's Weta Workshop. So they made all the
practical stuff.
Yeah, all the practical stuff. 90% of this movie is actually practical, which is a reason why I love it. It was all filmed on sound stages as well.
And it's probably one of the reasons why it will continue to age quite well, I think, as well, because the digital tends to age out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there is a couple of scenes where like you see the CGI digital, and it's like really it's really bad looking, like specifically with the gingerbread cookies.
Yeah, I was about to
later
say.
on, but it works for this movie because they're not supposed to take it all that seriously.
Yeah, I just like to think of them as the same gingerbread dudes from the Shrek movie. You know, literally out of the
like gumdrop buttons.
Dude, it's the best. I mean, I do love the fact that they kind of gave them. Well, we'll get into it when we see the gingerbread man. Fuck it. So as I said before, everything I hate about Christmas is the consumerism. I think that everything is highlighted well. I'm someone who was a big fan of Christmas when I was a kid, but when you grow up and you slowly begin to realize the amount of stress that it gives you on your parents and stuff like that, it's like, you kind of fall out of it because all of that stress is basically transferred to you. So, I mean, Jesus,
it's getting worse as years go on too, because it's like they're trying harder and harder to like. Years ago, it wasn't as much of this like artificial scarcity of items and stuff.
Yeah.
Now they artificially like only produce so many, so that way people will do this crazy thing of like trying to get them. That way, when they re-release it, it's a whole nother, like, oh, they're re-releasing it. It's a new one.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers sounding like a bunch of bah humbugs in this bitch. All right. All right. I like Halloween best, but Christmas is a close second. All right.
Dude,
I agree. I'm still waiting on my Turbo Man doll. You know what? I think that might be next year's Christmas movie, actually.
Yeah, I got a Turbo
Jingle
Man
all the
doll
way.
when I was a kid. Ironically, I was like 15 or whatever when I got, my brother got one. It's like, that was a fun movie.
So your brother got one and you didn't, huh? Oh.
Well, it was one of those things. We're both big movie buffs.
Man, and so what we see is this is the first time we see Beth actually, and she's filming her brother Max, who's fighting with Moses in the manger, and
as you do,
of course,
Moses.
as you do.
Moses in the manger. Interesting.
I think you might want to go back and reread some of these stories in this thing called the.
I mean, the Jewish community would like that, but
probably like one of the wise men or something.
One of the wise men.
Yeah, and Max is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because he was a very important Bible character.
Yes.
But this is like this little kid reminds me of like a young, uninspired. I don't know, probably getting into tiffs all the time, but.
Yeah, dude, I actually did theater. Well, I didn't do theater, but they would force me.
I lived theater. I lived theater. I didn't do it. I'm just kidding.
I once played a theater.
He was once a thespian too. Sorry, that's a wrong stream. Sorry.
I'll never play the Dane.
Yeah. So we finally get to see, the parents and everything like that, and clearly how dysfunctional their family is, and Max is just a little troublemaker, and we get a bit more of that later on because the reason why he fought was the fact that he still believes in Santa, and the bully didn't. See, he was telling people that what was it? Dark Hour. I'm sure you would have remembered this line.
It was something along the lines. Yeah, it was only created by
a marketing ploy for
a marketing ploy for Pepsi, and then she goes Coke. He's like, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, the modern outfit of the red outfit, it was made by Coke. That is true, but Santa was
Really?
not created by
Can
Coke. Yeah.
confirm.
Yeah,
Santa used to wear blue
true.
and green and all kinds of colors, but the all red and white, that is invented by Coca-Cola in like the 40s or something, 50s
You
maybe.
see, I
Yeah.
hate Christmas even more now. Thank
You would be surprised how many like
honestly-
Western European, North American traditions are actually just marketing gimmicks from the 50s.
But strangely, I was talking to some people from Poland only this week, and they were saying how they when they're talking about Christmas to their kids, they're talking about Saint Nicholas rather than Santa Claus.
Sure.
They're often describing him in slightly different ways to to Western Europe.
Yeah,
So
because,
they keep some of that tradition. They're not thinking about him in the red and white.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
a lot of people here call him like Saint Nick, anyways. So they don't really refer to him as Santa
Chris
Claus.
Kringle.
Yeah, I'm Dutch. I'm Dutch. I don't want to get into my
I forget
Christmas heritage.
Was it on our stream where I talked about this? Where I was like, the actual real Saint Nicholas was like a badass.
Yeah,
Like,
you said it.
It was at like
on last
it was
stream.
at it was I forget what it was one of like the yearly meetings of all the various bishops and stuff. And he like just got up and slapped Bishop Arius across the face because he didn't like what he had to say.
Yeah, he was like a Protestant superhero / Robin Hood character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
He's often regarded as being the patron saint of children, sailors, and
No, he's actually the real Saint Nicholas was actually Greek Orthodox. So
Wow.
he was actually
Damn.
he was like old school Christianity.
Well, yeah, I mean, old school Santa he kind of dressed like a wizard. You know, he had blue and green and gold, all kinds of colors. But I gotta say, the red and white is pretty slick. It is a pretty slick look. But back to like the opening scene, like one thing I liked about the last scene, the technical level, is like somehow subconsciously, the kid in the reindeer suit, the girl with the camera, and obviously Adam Driver and Toni Collette, like they're obviously main characters. But like they do a really good job of
Adam Scott.
Adam
Scott,
Close enough.
Whatever. Little guy. Yeah. The thing is, like, do a real good job of like subconsciously like cueing us who these main characters are in this big massive montage are.
It's shot pretty well too. It's a lot of like well-handled slow-mo, which isn't the easiest thing to do, especially to make it look good. It's definitely a lot of work that went into that. So
I'm really
I mean, like, just to bounce back on what Stubenzo said, I mean, in this scene, already just the fact that Max, who is the kid, says that he fought because he still believes in Santa. I feel like that's incredibly dark subject matter that the film probably doesn't tackle because it's PG-13. And the darkest part of it is that he refuses to grow up because the only thing that keeps his family sort of normal in his mind is Christmas. And that just emphasizes about how dysfunctional his family is. And it's like, Jesus, man, this is really, really bad for a kid, you know?
Well,
The fact that some of them might be just going through the motions with it doesn't matter. It's the fact that they're all together in one place and trying their very hardest to get along, which he really wants to cling on to, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They do make a point out of the fact that the father has already said he's not going to work, but he goes and takes a call anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another trope. There's so many Christmas movie tropes right here in this opening 20 minutes that are so amazing and on spot on. And another good one is like right after the fight, we cut to the television showing a Christmas movie, and then we pan out and we see all these like authentic like Austrian desserts and handmade what's it, vanilla Kipfer and all kinds of Linden cookies and strudels and stuff that grandma has been slaving away for. And then of course they reveal like, oh, don't work so hard, Mom.
Yeah, we already bought some cookies from the store.
Yeah, it's like, why would you like that? That actually like pissed me off at like a guttural Austrian level. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, no.
What else pisses you off on a guttural
Austrian level?
Later
on in the movie, there's a few moments.
If you said that to my Oma, you would have got backhanded through the freaking wall.
Yeah, dude.
Backhanded, man. Backhanded. I would have got the wooden spoon, bro.
Oh no, the wooden spoon is already snapped in half.
It wasn't even a wooden spoon. My grandmother my Oma legitimately used a fucking carpet beater. I'm not even kidding.
No vanilla Kipferl for you, young boy. Also, did your grandma refuse to speak English like this lady does?
No. Actually, she often my actual grandmother didn't speak German much because when she came here, there wasn't really anybody she could speak German to. So she kind of just slowly it got out of her system, so to say.
Yeah, very Austrian family. This is what's it, the last name Engel angels.
Yes, which is angel.
Angel, yeah, basically.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I mean, here you also have the dynamics between the daughter and the mother. So Toni Collette and Beth. I mean, in my mind, I think that Sarah and Tom were pretty bad names for them to pick for the parents, because Adam and Tony would just it would have suited it better. I kept forgetting
Honestly,
the parents' names.
I agree with you. A lot of the names chosen for this were not really particularly great. There was a lot of really like generic names that were like easy to forget.
Yeah, they
Very
also didn't
easy to
say them.
forget.
They also didn't like refer to each other by their names a lot in the film, so it's really hard to remember what everyone's called.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, we got
mom,
mom,
dad, that's
daughter, son, and then we got grandma, and then later we've got the other, I mean, it's pretty easy to. It's not like a huge ensemble cast with like
No.
everyone's like an adult male. It's not like The Thing. You need to learn everyone's
Yeah.
name in The Thing.
Maybe somebody can explain to me what's going on. Is the Santa Claus supposed to be like checking out the underage
Yeah,
girl?
he's checking
Yes.
it around.
Yeah.
Like, is that what was going? Because he's not really.
Yeah.
It almost looks like he's looking at her phone.
Yeah,
No,
her
he's-
reaction's great though.
He's checking her out.
Toni Collette, she just does this like eye roll, like, oh
Yeah,
man,
ugh.
like typical.
It got a chuckle
She's not even
from
that
me.
upset about it. She just seems like she expected it.
There we go. Uninspired believes in Santa. I mean, cannoli, Santa Claus. I think that every parent should be scared of Santa Claus. Just think about this: like a 70-year-old fat dude comes down the chimney to eat your food and then weirdly leave presents for your kids. That's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
We've all had an uncle like that.
There's a fantastic image of Santa Claus with like creepy owl eyes, like just solid yellow eyes with big dark rings. Like the idea that Santa is not a human, like Santa, you think he's a jolly old man, but the idea is he's actually some kind of tentacle monster that goes down
Probably.
the chimney and like gives you presents and stuff, There's a
That
good
would
tweet
actually be
going
better.
around how Santa, you always see in movies like Santa gets out of the chimney and then flies away. He never goes to the house next door.
That's
Like,
true.
why does he do that? It's
Maybe
so
because
weird.
the other houses were naughty. They didn't make the list. They're just like,
He
fuck
can
it.
go into like 20 houses at once, like he's like omnipresent, That's how it works.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Santa is scary if you think about it, but
Yeah.
Saint Nicholas is as scary because he just has like fun minions around and he enjoys torturing people.
Do you think the elves celebrate Christmas?
No.
I think they must hate it. It's
Well,
like overtime.
Well, they
isn't it?
probably get 2 weeks off right after, so
Yeah. Imagine, I'm thinking like of the scene in Man of Steel where like the military go and confront Superman. That's how it'd be with Santa. Like we go to the North Pole, like we want to talk to you. Like explain yourself.
Santa would just be
Santa's
like,
fortress
yeah,
of
fuck off,
solitude.
man.
Well, there's always the plot hole that bugged me as a kid watching like those Santa Claus movies and stuff. Like the parents don't believe in Santa Claus, but yet they're not surprised when these gifts just appear in their fucking house. Like,
Well, that's the
Yes.
thing. There a lot of times when the movie does it right, the parents look at each other like, "What? I didn't. What? What's this from? Who? What?" They give it that kind of motion, that kind of
Yeah.
Oh,
little-
Yeah,
it's
like
from
the-
your
oh,
random uncle.
The best way to cover it is that when like basically like one of the parents is like, yeah, I definitely bought that, and they're like an alcoholic or something, so they might have forgot about it.
I definitely would be like, "Ah,
Vex.
that's the present you wanted, and it's from Santa, and I didn't buy it. I'm going to inspect this toy thoroughly."
Hey,
because
Vex.
I didn't-
Happy birthday, Vex. So,
yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
All
birthday.
right.
It's Vex's birthday, so yes. And it's not polite to ask a woman her age, so please don't do so, chat.
She's
No, that's
21.
why we
She's
just-
nearly.
Yeah, I was about to say she's
I
21.
thought take turns guessing her age instead. That's way better. No, I'm just joking.
Oh yeah. Well, and so yeah, so like for the movie, we finally have Omi and Max, and you can tell that they're the closest in the family, especially for Max, because everyone else is just in their own worlds. Essentially, you have Beth that's always on her phone. You have Tom that's constantly with work on the phone as well, and then Toni Collette actually has, well, I think she's so busy taking care of the house that she neglects her kids. And there is also a throwaway line there to like emphasize it. It's when Beth is on the phone with her boyfriend and he asks if she keeps popping Xanax, which, is not really
Yeah, kids
good-
these
good
days.
sign. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I'm with Omi over here. I also believe in dessert before dinner. I think that that's always
On
pretty good.
Christmas, sure, whatever. The rules are off the table on Christmas,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't bake these cookies just so they could sit here until after dinner, Like, good God.
That's true.
mean-
And so yeah, so we have Beth on the phone that's setting up the her and her boyfriend, who's of course smoking a bong. And,
A little
yeah, so she wants.
candy
Yeah,
cane
go ahead.
bong.
Yeah, weird candy cane bong, which is pretty
He's got
cool.
like a seasonal bong that he busts out once a year, or is his bong like completely out of style, like 11 months of the year? Which is it?
I think it's a seasonal bong. That would
Yeah, I
be.
think he's
That
got
would
one
be
for
cool.
every month.
Yeah, I have a seasonal bong.
I don't get I don't get that she's decorated this room. This feels like a room that's been decorated by a set designer rather than the character.
Well,
Do you
I
think
mean,
it just
she
feels
does have
very.
Smiling,
like
if
a
you read
random-
the Wikipedia, you would know that this daughter has aspirations of being a set designer. So there you go.
Right, sorry, I didn't read the backstory. I didn't read the 5-part graphic novel or the all the additional.
I do
I want
love
my
that
room
whenever we
dark.
do this, we get to see like little details that you don't catch necessarily on the first or even maybe your fifth viewing.
Yeah,
I did not
Yeah.
notice the random Union Jack, which is
Yeah, what's that
extremely
about?
weird.
I mean,
She's a real
maybe
fan
she's
of
really into
British
British
TV.
UK music, that kind of thing.
She
I don't
likes
know, but
British TV, you know,
Possibly.
She's a big Doctor Who fan.
big
Yeah,
Faulty
she's a-
Towers fan.
By the way,
Big
you know what?
Downton
I
Abbey
just
fan.
want to say, you know what the best part about having wireless headphones is I was able to get up, go make a whole thing of tea while you guys were talking.
Yeah.
Didn't miss
What the fuck?
any bit of that. You guys didn't even realize I was gone.
Yep.
Dude,
And off
and,
camera.
and yeah, so we finally get the arrival of well, they don't have a family name, but I'll just say Howard's family, and I'll play the clip. They sound annoying as fuck.
They proceed to ring the doorbell like 50 times, like over and over. It's one of the kids, obviously. Ding, 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 ding. just
One
like
of
that.
I'm not
one
gonna
of the-
lie, that's my family. That's how we arrive every time.
No,
I
this
do
truck
know
was
that
my
one
father's
of,
truck.
yeah,
Go ahead,
I do
Jack.
know that one of the daughters, one of like the twin daughters, is actually the sister of the
Beth.
I do know
Yeah.
that. I saw that. I noticed
oh,
it in the credits when they were when I saw the names. I was like, why don't they have the same last name? I wonder if they're related. And they were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
sister-
the Stevie, the one with the glasses. Yeah, this
Yeah.
one, the one with the glasses in front.
I like how you're like
she's-
this one, and they're both in the picture. Yeah, the one on screen right
Well,
now.
Yeah, that one.
Well,
His
right, so
sister with glasses, her daughter. She
Uh,
plays her
so
So
mother.
they're non-identical twins.
Oh, I see.
But
yeah.
they're non-identical twins, and so the one that survives the longest, the one that makes it to the end later, basically, she's the one who is related to Beth. in real
Yes,
life. She's her actual sister.
Which one's Beth?
Beth is
daughter?
the daughter. Yeah.
Okay,
Let me put it that way. Yeah, where it's obvious that the actual
Again,
names,
the names.
Well, so we meet Linda, who is Sarah's sister. Well, Toni Collette's sister. I'll use Toni Collette because most people would recognize Toni Collette. I mean, she was coming off of Hereditary in 2015, wasn't she?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All of her
Either
roles
that-
are
either that or
playing,
when she went right into
traumatized
it from
mother. Yeah, she's always playing
Yes.
some traumatized mother in a horror movie. It's like her that's what she excels at anyway. She's
She's
so
the
good
best
at
at
it.
it.
Well, that brings up a good point. I think the casting here is either really exceptional or really lazy because everybody here is playing a part they've kind of played before.
Right.
You've pretty much got everybody playing a version of something they've done, and I think that's great because it means you don't have any homework to do. You just know who these people are the very second they arrive on the set.
I want to call Howard
scene.
Champ Kind. I want to call him
Yeah.
Champ Kind.
Yeah.
Howard's actor, I forget his name, but he was in
David-
the storyboard
David
artist was
Koechner,
literally the storyboard artist was putting him in the storyboards like subconsciously
Yeah.
before he was
Well,
even cast.
he always like in almost everything you see him in, he always plays some former like high school athlete because he just has that look.
Slightly
He has, like,
obnoxious.
the bald, slightly out of shape, but not ridiculously out of
Yeah,
shape.
it's Todd Packer from what's it called from The Office. He's the whammy dude from Anchorman too.
Yeah.
that's
what I'm
what
saying.
is, like,
Champ Kind, whammy,
his
Whammy.
dad, like his truck getting home. That's exactly how my dad would get home. Like he had a huge diesel
Lucinda.
pickup truck, and you just hear it coming up the block. So
Mm,
dad's here.
dude. And so you get everyone. You get Linda. You get Howard. These are the I guess the twins or I think they're twins in the movie.
Yeah, they're supposed to be unidentical twins because they do at one
Yeah.
point say a line that the twin girls or something like that.
Yeah,
twins.
so this
I love
is
how
Stevie
it's
and
like
Jordan.
the food, the casserole.
Macaroni and cheese, I think.
Yeah, I think it was mac and cheese, isn't it?
It looks delicious. All right.
Now here's by far the best character in the movie because
I agree with you totally.
Does he,
It's just
does he
that
ever
one
say
expression.
anything?
It's like it's perfect, isn't it?
They sort of imply, but never specifically state that he's essentially like mentally deficient, but like everyone's refusing to accept it.
I think you can tell that he is.
He's just shy.
Oh, dude, and yeah, so you get the setup of Max having the letter to Santa Claus in his back pocket, which is being eyed by Stevie and Jordan, who are the diabolical twins, basically. And yeah, so you've got Aunt Dorothy that just makes an arrival too, which the actress.
Yeah, it's Berta from 2.5 Men.
Yeah,
complains. First thing you hear is her complaining. Like you should have shoveled the driveway. I could have broken my hip.
Yeah,
she is by far the greatest actress in the history of being like a crotchety, either middle-aged or older woman. She's the best at it. I've never seen anybody better.
Agreed.
True. And well, this is a question that I had because she requests some eggnog, and as a Frenchman, I don't know what the fuck eggnog is. So could you guys clarify what it is?
You're not missing out.
So eggnog is
alcoholic, milky horribleness.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. It's like nutmeg. It's a
milk punch.
It's milk. It's got egg whites and it's
you're supposed to use like half and half cream, egg whites, and I guess you could like sort of thin it out with milk, but like you add rum to it.
Yeah,
most people are just interested in the rum.
Bourbon.
By the way, this actress, she passed away about 3 years ago. I didn't know that.
Oh, she did?
Really?
Oh, yeah,
really?
2020. Yeah.
That sucks.
But yeah, she was always good. Always good.
Yeah.
Well,
Alistair Campbell probably said it best. It's custard alcohol.
Eggnog is one of those drinks. Like I can't. Like I remember when I was a kid, you used to drink non-alcoholic eggnog, and looking back, you're like, why the hell did we do that?
I still drink non-alcoholic
but also,
eggnog.
Like,
I love
you
it.
want one. It's like a Bloody Mary. You want one eggnog drink. You don't want to be drinking like 5 or 6 eggnogs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I the only person who actually likes eggnog?
I
guess so.
I do like it, but it's heavy. It's heavy and it gets you fucking.
Don't worry, Uninspired. When we get you out to the United States, we'll make sure that you try eggnog.
I'll try it, man.
And you can tell us just how bad it is.
I would imagine if you have a really bad experience with eggnog and it's all coming back up, that is going to be the absolute worst. That is going to be the worst experience.
It definitely is something you do not want to drink it if you have like a cold or something, because it's just gonna gonna linger.
You have
and
to
just
sing
be
karaoke or caroling. Do not drink eggnog.
Ooh,
no.
Well, I mean, there you go. Professor Arthur agrees with you, Dark Hour, and the LS Studio also. Eggnog.
Yeah, Uninspired. You should check
10.
out How to Drink's video about eggnog and how this guy making eggnog. It's pretty luxurious drink.
It's funny because I grew up on, nobody in my house really made it, so I just kind of grew up on store-bought eggnog, and it's one of those things. It's like you eat canned apples, and then then you eat like a real apple, and you're like, this doesn't taste good. It's like that with me. It's like I drink homemade eggnog, and I'm like, nah, give me that store-bought shit.
I'm the opposite.
Really? Yeah, I was about to say the store-bought sucks. Yeah,
it's one of those things. If you're raised on something, you just get used to it that way, and that's what you expect.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Have you guys ever eaten like a cold hot dog? You know how it gives you that film on your mouth? That's what store-bought eggnog does to your mouth. It's weird.
Store-bought eggnog is just that film in a bottle, and you just pour it into a glass.
Who was the joke where you said eggnog is elf ejaculate? Who was the comedian that said that?
I remember the joke, but I don't remember who said it.
Oh my god!
Anyway, moving on.
Sounds nasty, man. And, so we've got the baby that we're introduced to, who's very inconsequential to everything because they even forget the baby. So
I agree. Coquito is very
Coquito's awesome.
Coquito.
And yeah, so we finally have dinner with the whole family, and dinner with the family is kind of a weird bust because everyone's basically past problems are coming back to haunt them. So you've got Howie Jr. back there chugging the big Mountain Dew, of course, because he's going to be the biggest, I think, linebacker in the state. That's what Howard says he should be.
I have him on pace to be the biggest linebacker in the state or something along those lines.
Nah, he's gonna be a Twitch streamer.
It's like store-bought Mountain Dew too, and like the liter, the 2-liter bottle or whatever. Good lord.
Yeah, I mean he's not on pace to do anything later in life. He's on pace to die of diabetes very young.
Yeah, that was literally a joke earlier. Dialysis, his sister.
Yeah, dialysis. Yeah. I mean, fun fact: the dude that plays Howie Jr., his real name is actually pretty cool. His real name is Maverick. It's like, damn.
Oh, cool.
What?
That's really fucking cool, man. So
just because his parents were a Top Gun fan, I don't know.
Maverick Flack.
Yeah,
dude, Maverick Flack. That's 100% fucking a Top Gun reference.
Pure American. There we go. A pure American dude right there.
Thurman Merman from Bad Santa is what
God
Jaden
bless them.
He reminds him of.
And yeah, so we get Tom and Howard that are pretty much going back and forth because they don't like the wife's food, and also Howard doesn't really respect Tom that much because he was a Eagle Scout, to be precise. Yeah, and this is also set up because it becomes very, very. It has a good payoff, I think.
Yeah,
because I'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh yeah,
but
here's the set up payoff.
Someone tells you they were a Boy Scout, like who cares? But if they tell you, hey, I was an Eagle Scout in middle school or high school, it's like, okay, this kid went ahead and did some things. I know it's kind of lame and very churchy, but it isn't easy to be an Eagle Scout. But it's kind of like
it's very difficult.
Yeah. Also, Howard looks so bald in this movie. It's like he's wearing a bald cap. It's crazy
over his bald. And I agree with Jaden Smith eyes. Thurman Merman, 100% right here.
Yeah.
He looks very similar to him.
Yeah, I can see that.
But also shitting all over mother's food, ethnic, authentic Austrian food, and all they say is like, "Where's the ham?" What does she say? Oh, yeah, what are you, a Jew now? Like, where's the ham?
Yeah, that's what she says. Yeah,
I just want ham.
The way that kid's holding his cutlery bugs me a lot.
Dude, I know some. Like, I even have some best friends that still hold cutlery like that. Like, I just look at them like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
You're talking about Max or Thurman Merman?
And are they French as well?
Little Maverick there.
Yes.
Look at he's like gripping it like it's
horrible.
like it's a pickaxe.
Like the pencil.
Yeah. Your chopsticks and your utensils, chopsticks too. Like a big misconception is you hold it too close to you want to hold it far back at the end.
Yeah, you want to hold it like right at the ends,
like a pencil. Well, like a pencil.
And you see, in terms of what they're eating, this is I think I was having a conversation with Waylon actually on Twitter, and he was asking me what was French Christmas dinner, and I was telling him this is pretty much it because each person has a quail, so we eat a lot of quail for Christmas. And I think this one nailed it. But I don't know in America what you guys eat for Christmas dinner.
Whatever the fuck we want, because we're
pretty much.
It's usually like Thanksgiving 2.0. We've got
like
ham
some
and stuffing.
Yeah, it's like
Most
spiral
families
ham and turkey are pretty popular. A lot of people just do chicken, honestly, but
some people will do duck. So there's some people will do duck if that's like
Chinese
a traditional
food.
thing.
Do you guys do oysters?
That's the Jewish people will do that. Will go out for Chinese food in a movie. Oysters, not so much in for that because oysters are a bitch and a half to prepare.
Yeah, I've always thought of oysters as more of a summer food because you normally cook them outside because it reeks up your kitchen really bad. If you have a few bad ones.
I don't cook oysters. I just eat them as is.
I've done mussels before in a Christmas lunch. I've done mussels as a starter before.
Yeah, mussels. We do a lot of mussels. Oysters here, like really mainly oysters. I mean, I had oysters. I think 3 days ago actually.
I love oysters. I like oysters raw though.
Yeah, no, same. Me too.
Sorry, I'm conflating it with clams. Yeah, oysters you eat raw for sure. Okay.
Yeah,
you can cook. You can also cook oysters. I just don't.
Fried oyster po' boy. Get the fuck out of here. Forget about it. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I'm getting hungry, guys. It's just shitty.
Well, fuck, we'll move on then. And so you've got Stevie and Jordan that before reading Max's thing, they give us a little footnote about what happened to Santa. So let's check the clip.
Hear what happened to Santa? His sleigh crashed in the Rockies, shattered both his legs. Frostbite took care of his pain, but not his hunger. So to survive, he had to slaughter and eat his reindeer.
Makes sense.
Oh, well.
Nice.
There is like they are definitely like invoking the like Buzz from Home Alone You know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like right there, 100%. Like
The girl on the right kind of looks like that nastier older brother.
Yeah.
There's a nice attention to detail in the set decoration in this room as well. There's an awful lot of red and green. Even the drink is green. I mean, it's like they have everything in there to make it as Christmassy as they can, haven't they?
Kind of what, that's kind of what uninspireders talk about. Everyone's Christmas sins. The mother's Christmas sin is she's too fucking preoccupied with decorating her house. She's hanging up pictures they took today, framed. She's got to like show off how great she is, like subconsciously.
To be the perfect housewife.
But also, like the first time I watched this movie, I think it was like one of these things where like a lot of people like right around here, you're barely realizing these two cousins are girls. You're like, oh shit.
Especially the one on the right. I was just like,
don't be mean. Don't be mean.
That's what I was.
Well, that's what comes up right here. I don't know if we have the clip for it, but it's what he says in the note is what gets.
Yes.
Yeah.
He says, Dad doesn't wish that we were boys, and I mean, he clearly does.
It's one of those things where you should have stole the note and read it silently before you decide to like read it out loud, or it might say, you might.
Yeah, I mean, the note itself, like the contents of the note, are pretty sad because so basically Max's wish list is he wants him and Beth, which is his older sister, to hang out like they used to before because he doesn't have a lot of friends. He also wishes for his mom and dad to fall in love again because his dad works away, and it's caused a rift in between the family. And of course, he prays for Howard and Linda as well to have a better life because I mean they have 6 kids, and it's kind of tough for them. It's like,
and it does become a little bit of a. It doesn't 100% follow it, but for the most part, his list is the order that they get kind of like picked off in.
Right. Right.
Oh, interesting.
It does deviate a little bit toward the end, but for the toward the middle. But for the most part, it follows along what they're doing. How he says.
Oh yeah.
But then they get all quiet and they're like, "Shut up! Dad doesn't wish we were boys."
Yeah.
The truth
and at that point, like you understand why Max completely hates Christmas because everyone hates each other, and it's just people being fake around the dinner table for 3 days. That's how long they're supposed to stay together. And it's like, at this point, why not just say fuck it? I'll stay in my room for the next 3 days if none of you guys are even going to make the effort of trying to be an actual family. Which is completely understandable.
But also, like, what happens before that is like the mother, like, confronting the aunt in the kitchen.
Yes,
and
just Dorothy in the kitchen.
Just like a lot of tension everywhere. There's multiple pockets of conflict going on within these, like, 8 or 10 characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cool. It's shaping up to be a sticky holiday situation, even without the whole supernatural nonsense.
Yeah, they're trying to be as relatable as possible, trying to like get that character base, get a bunch of conflicts going, so we actually care about them at least more than we would otherwise when the shit hits the fan.
It's kind of like
horror.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of like in From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, it's like you want even if the supernatural stuff didn't happen, you still have the makings of a solid movie right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah,
it's just good script writing, really.
Yeah, bring it like make them all to the surface slowly, and then you can all out, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the best thing about horror, which is why I love it so much, is that you have to have already dysfunctional family. I mean, by dysfunctional, I mean your characters have to be drenched in conflict before anything happens, and that horror just has to amplify the conflict so much that it stretches the tension, and that's what makes it a better film than that's what I think makes horror a better genre.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, things like The Shining to Halloween, you can pretty much think about any of those movies really, and the main characters are generally about to get themselves into peril, or there's already like fractured relationships going on before they even encounter anything nasty. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, well, that is like the Stephen King approach, make everyone invested in the characters before the crazy shit happens. But also like the opposite of that works too, like The Fly, where everything's great, everything's awesome at the beginning. Like, I got a new girlfriend, we're making champagne because we made a teleportation machine, and then it just gets so like horrifically downhill from there. Like, that's the idea. Like, having everything and losing it all is like
Jeff Goldblum as a scientist is always a bad sign in a film. You just know that shit's gonna get real.
Yeah.
Besides, you can never finish a sentence. It's always like, well,
Gee,
say what you mean, man.
But also, like, yeah, Max gets in his second fight in like 2 hours with his cousin.
That's true.
The kid is a little bag of. I wait till he gets like hormonal, in a couple of years. Ugh.
There was something on IMDb that said that he was a proper flirt with every female that came on the set.
Yeah, apparently he like all of them he just hit on.
Ew.
Really?
This same little kid from Chef, right?
He is the kid from Chef, yeah.
I love that movie.
Oh my god! I just realized that it is the kid from Chef.
Yeah. That's not a horror film.
Chef is a great movie.
It is, yeah.
Really good. John Favreau.
Another movie that makes me super hungry. Maybe I'm just a big fatty where every movie makes me hungry. I don't realize it.
So you can't see it in like the screenshot, but in Max's room, you have a lot of different how would I say this? Legendary pictures related things. Yeah. He does have Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim. For those who don't know, Gypsy Danger is the main Jaeger in Pacific Rim. And if you haven't watched Pacific Rim, go watch it. It's fucking great.
Recommended.
Your thoughts on part 2 there, Uninspired?
There is no part 2.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's more like something.
I also agree.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a subtle nod to like Gypsy Danger. I think it's like, hey, we need a room full of toys, and the set designer is like, well, I'm not gonna ask for the rights of like, popular other toys that we don't have the rights to, and I'm also not gonna create new toys. So, Legendary, give me a bag of your toys right now, and I can just decorate it around this room.
Yep, and that was it. And it's like, so the dad came in to comfort Max, but essentially when he starts reading, well, it's when he reads the back when it says to Santa Claus in the North Pole, where I think he realizes how childish it is in comparison to everything that's going on in his life right now. So he rips it up and he just throws it in the sky where it gets swallowed up, and we have a blackout, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone's in the dark. And Krampus has arrived because it is December 23rd.
There's another little point I picked up on that the neighborhood is comprised of an awful lot of digital houses which have come from other 80s movies. So the Amityville house is in there somewhere, and probably things like I don't know what else, but they're all.
I would not be shocked if you look closely. The Home Alone house is.
I would guess the Home Alone house would be in there. Yeah.
I mean,
maybe the Griswolds are in there too somewhere.
These houses are about the same size as the Home Alone house for sure.
Oh yeah, they are massive houses, man. Kevin McAllister's parents were loaded.
House,
I know the odds are, Stupenzo, you haven't lived through a big blizzard because you are in Texas.
Fuck, I'm in Texas, bro. We had the snowpocalypse 2 years ago.
Oh, what was that like? What was that like? 4 inches of snow? Like, what
was it? We're not used to like negative degrees, especially for prolonged periods. And what happened was we went in the negative for like 4 days, which was like pretty unheard of. But the problem was like we're not used to that stuff. Now we were fine where I'm at because I know what the hell to expect. But what happens is they told everyone in Texas like, "Hey, drip your pipes," right? But that's assuming your house is
drip your pipes.
70 degrees.
Yeah, it just means just turn the water on slightly. So
right.
Yeah, just leave it dripping so it's moving.
Pipes won't
Otherwise,
freeze
it
and
freezes.
explode. But what happens is that's assuming your heat is on. If your heat is off and your house gets like below freezing, you need to like empty your pipes. You need to turn all the water off to the house and empty all the water out of the pipes. And that's what a lot of people didn't do.
Yeah.
So everyone's fucking house like exploded. There was like huge water problems.
Not to mention your electrical grid's not set up for like ice rain and stuff. Yeah.
I felt bad because we had no power outage where I'm at. I guess I'm close enough to a police station, so I was fine.
Nice. I get power outages like on a weekly basis. It's horrible.
Amateur analyst, where are you from, man?
I'm in like
northeastern
Ontario,
the middle of nowhere, Canada.
Yeah, like if you look at Toronto and Ottawa on a map, and then you find the most boring looking part in between them, I'm there.
So you're in the Tatooine of.
If there's a bright center to the universe.
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
So
I mean, there's no sand, but
so you probably lived through the blizzard of '93. That was like the biggest snowstorm I recall. It was.
I was not alive for that one.
Oh yeah, okay. How old are you? I don't even know. I've literally never met you before. So
well, I would have been born the year after that. So.
Okay. So then you wouldn't have. And
I was born when Kurt Cobain died.
R.I.P. Cobain.
Rip. But anyway, the blizzard of '93 was like the most ridiculous blizzard I've ever seen in my life, and it this whole sequence that they go through, this whole blizzard reminded me of that. It was that was yeah. I if anybody in the chat would like lived through that, they know what I'm talking about.
Hell, I wasn't even in balls back then, so. That's
God,
a
I
good
feel
thing
so
to bring
old.
up sound design, actually, because I really do appreciate the sound design in this entire movie. I think it's one of the films with the best sound design that I've heard, especially when it comes to winter storms, because you constantly have the howling of of the blizzard in your ears, and you even have like weird passing noises. I didn't even realize until when I was rewatching it not long ago that there was an actual cop siren put in there, and I was like, wow, it is really, really good sound design, top notch.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing I will say
Yeah.
about the sound design, though, we'll probably talk about this later, but I noticed there's a lot of stock sound effects from Warcraft, especially with Krampus. He sounds like the moving, like the what do you call it, like the unit responses of the dragons in Warcraft. Like he's got all of them, and it was just like,
I didn't pick up on that.
That's just
Yeah,
the one thing, but everything else is like, yeah, top notch. The
Did,
blizzard in the background the whole time is excellent. It just keeps that atmosphere going.
Did Legendary do Warcraft? I can't remember. They may have done.
No, they're just stock sound effects that you can just buy. But
right.
They're most famously known in Warcraft because they've been using them for like 25 years.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a long time. I played it solidly for such a long time, but then, yeah, I've gone cold turkey since then.
Yeah. Well, there's not much to like about Blizzard anymore. No pun
Talking
intended.
about video games like it's a fucking drug, dude. That's hilarious.
It's not called Warcrack for nothing.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, so we're finally on the 23rd of December, and Max starts to notice that there's snowmen outside. So I've never built a snowman. I've had very little experience with snow in general, except for when I went last year to see like my dad at the ski resort. That was pretty much it. But dude,
snowmen are overrated. They're a lot of work for seemingly no reason.
Dude,
oh man, you gotta make a big snowbank and then dig tunnels through it. That's the best.
That's what, yeah. Snowman is like you literally you do all this rolling and packing and getting stuff to make it look good, and then you just watch it slowly melt to death. It's like okay, cool.
Your
it's a little
creation
miserable,
dies in front of you.
All artists
bro. Have you not even made like a snow cat?
No.
I mean, no one ever makes like snow, like Calvin and Hobbes, like snow sculptures were always my favorite part of the comic strip.
Where I am, it doesn't snow anyways. Like I'm in the South, so it gets cold, but it never snows. It's very rare for it to snow. Actually, I think once every 3 years, and it doesn't even stay like for an entire day. Just like it melts away in the morning once the sun comes up.
We used to get really rough snowstorms in the UK, but the coldest I've ever been was in New York. New Year's about 6 years ago. The wind just hurt. I mean, it was absolutely painful to walk in. It was horrendous. I'd get back to the hotel room and you take your clothes off and you were bright red from like freezer burn. It was just awful.
Yeah, I was just in Toronto a few weeks ago for a concert, and like that was the first thing I noticed, how fucking windy it was, just coming off the lake and funneling through the buildings.
One of the reasons, there's two reasons why that happens in New York, and I'm assuming it's similar to Toronto. You do get that like. It's not lake effect, but you get what is it? Hudson Bay effect from the from New York. And because of the way the buildings are structured and so
it's
tall,
a grid system, isn't it? So all the wind is basically channeling all the way without any interruptions.
You basically make like wind tunnels.
I heard Chicago's the worst though. I heard Chicago's significantly worse.
Oh yeah, it's got so many rivers, doesn't it? I mean, I think by day 3 we were planning our trips through the city, working out which department stores we could walk through to get to where we wanted to get to. So we weren't going to walk anywhere. I also got dumped on that holiday, by the way. Just want to. So it's frosty inside and out by the last day.
Hey.
So one of my favorite cities to visit is Minneapolis, and because the reason why they are so used to this kind of ridiculous cold and storms that they've actually built a series of tunnels and bridges that take you from building to building. In the major points, you don't even need to go into the outside into the cold. You literally can go from you can walk entire blocks without going outside. It's really cool.
Yeah, they started to set that up in Toronto, which is nice. Like you can go like between all the major like the Eaton Center and the big hockey arena. I keep forgetting what it's called because they've changed it like 20 times in my lifetime. But yeah, it's nice. It's hard to navigate though. The place is such a shithole.
Well, I mean, talking about snowstorms, look at this DHL man. He's out here representing, man. He's
Trooper.
Christmas Eve or
hero.
Christmas, what, the 23rd? Is that what this is?
23rd.
Yeah, 23rd.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Where's the poll?
Dude, I'm telling you, this is like, I think this is probably like the best product placement you could get for DHL ever.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Since nobody ever uses them.
It's the most
DHL.
unrealistic. It's the most unrealistic part of the film, though, because I expected him to just throw the fucking package at their door and just run away.
Drop kick it from the front yard into the window.
I do
He
love
wouldn't even
how
walk.
then she asks about the other package, the bag there, and
Yeah,
he's
that
like,
Must
"Oh,
be
that's
from the
the
boys in brown.
Yeah, just talking about UPS.
It ain't my fucking problem, lady. He's all rude to her or whatever. But it's also
Dude,
funny
and-
because not funny, but awesome because I don't know, like he rips up the note, right? Which is obviously the inciting incident for Krampus. He turns his back on Christmas, but after that, like the lighting and this everything, the production design of the movie changes so drastically
To blue, yeah.
It's like now like hunker down in the Blizzard movie, and it's also such we're talking about this with Nail and I. Like I love it when movies get into cozy mode, like we're in a cabin or a cave, candlelit house, like anything like that. I fucking love it. Love it.
Yeah, with Nail and I really nailed that, and then
this
that was
hot
the whole
cocoa,
claustrophobic feel that kind of they're trapped here,
the
and
power's
they're
out. We have
stuck in there with
candles
them.
and we're drinking hot cocoa. Hell yes. Sometimes I'll just turn the lights off on purpose and act like the power's out.
I actually have a fireplace beside me. I should have got a fire going.
Yeah.
I would have added a little crackle to my microphone, but
it takes so much wood to just stoke the fire every time.
fucking tell me about it, dude.
Basically, no point in turning it on, man.
Yeah, but you're young. You can get wood whenever you want.
It's true.
But also,
go
it
ahead.
makes sense that the uncle and aunt answer the door because they're like, "What is this big bag of presents?" Like, if mom and dad answered the door, they've been like, "I don't know what that is," but like, uncle and aunt just without a question, just bring it in. Okay, whatever.
Howard Champkind has the best line about that too. He's like, "Why do the rich people always get the free shit?"
Yeah,
The Oscar, people like the big gift baskets they get for getting nominated. It's like, what the hell?
It's crazy.
It's
like, we get paid millions, but here you go, millions in a gift basket again. It's like, fuck it. And then you've got Beth out here in the blizzard.
I guess like the order of the victims, like it's like I guess homegirl, little sister, older sister, she commits the first Christmas sin, which is like I want to go hit the candy cane bong with my boyfriend and not be with my family.
Yeah, do you reckon that's why she goes? Because I was surprised that she's the first choice to sort of leave the main story, given that from a audience demographic, she probably has some appeal to 15-year-old boys in the room.
Right. But
I mean, even from a writing standpoint, it's always good to have the sister and the brother that could be able to make up. Like it would have been much more intense if it was her and Max at the end instead of Stevie and Max.
Or
I
if
agree.
she'd gone with one of the others and they'd been trapped together, might have made things more interesting too, perhaps.
True. Yeah, but
that's one thing I will commend this movie for. It does not give a fuck. It's
no, it doesn't.
We have a bunch of kids and we're gonna slaughter them. We're gonna fuck them up.
Willy Wonka style.
That is something that a lot of horror movies avoid like the plague. It's either done off screen or it's like implied heavily, but you rarely see.
That's why I love Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. You rarely see horror movies like venture into this territory.
Yep, man. Dr. Sleep, they were literally just like ripping into a 10-year-old kid's abdomen, straight up showing him coughing up all of his blood, and I was like, Jesus, I now understand why horror movies don't show this. It's like, whoa.
I mainly just remember Rebecca Ferguson. Rebecca.
Oh yeah, Rose the Hat. Oh yeah. Well, already from a parenting standpoint,
she rose my
horrible parents. Oh god. So this is horrible parenting, letting your kid out in a blizzard to go see their boyfriend, who probably will just smoke a bong. But
I mean, in a normal universe, whatever. But I also live in Canada. Blizzards are like a monthly occurrence. Not really a big deal. It's not like she's driving.
It would have been a better plot, drama if it was like, no, you can't go see your boyfriend. You're not allowed, and then later she sneaks out, it's one of those things. But like, no, let's just let her go. Let's just let her go. Not spend Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas Eve, with our family, and Walk
Yeah,
through
and
a
I mean-
blizzard. I don't know how far your boyfriend lives, but he better live like 2 or 3 doors down.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a fairly tight 140 minutes, isn't it? So it's kind of, I think it's just a case of just keeping it tight and moving.
What a
forward.
shit boyfriend though! Like doesn't meet her halfway or like.
Oh yeah. Oh, but
waiting outside of the house.
Yeah, I'll walk you back exactly like a man. Yeah, I mean,
like this isn't the '80s. We have phones. Like you can
You'd
talk.
be surprised how disoriented you can get in one of these.
Well, they don't have phones actually, because she said she texted Derek 9 times and he didn't answer. That's the reason why she's going.
Oh yeah, she's just a standard, classic jealous girlfriend. She's overly worried.
Well, let me play the clip of what's the worst that could happen if you just go out in a blizzard randomly.
She's a good screamer.
Yeah. R.I.P. DHL guy.
Well, yeah, R.I.P. DHL guy. But what do you guys think about Krampus? Well, we haven't seen his full design. However, the movements and everything like that. I mean, we'll go from down to up. So, Smilex.
I like it. He feels kind of heavy. He's got weight to him, hasn't he? He's kind of like a big thing. And even though you've not really seen him yet, you're already kind of going, "Oh, that's not right." I don't like that one little bit. So I like it. He has presence already.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the size of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. He's massive goat creature. But the idea that like this huge 10-foot tall goat creature can jump 20 feet onto the roof of the house and the house doesn't cave in. Dude, that's a well-built structure right there. Because you think he would just crash right through that ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, everything was really, really well built. Like Jesus, well, Stupenza, you went ahead. Or I had to step away for a second.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so yeah.
Well then, yes. Smilex. Then I guess I don't even. Who said what?
But
sorry.
Yeah, I do like how they keep him shrouded. It's definitely an important thing to do with, like any villain in any horror. Really, I think the longer you can get away with sort of like suspending that, like not delivering that to your audience, like it just lets their imagination go a little bit. Like it's not super important for this one, but I'm glad they did do it. But yeah, like the movement looks great. You can tell how heavy they are. And I have worked in construction and there's no fucking way he's not blasting through that roof. Like shit's made out of 2x4s and tissue paper.
Right.
Yeah. And no, he definitely has like, the movements are great because they're very like jerky, because he's carrying the chains and stuff. You got to remember that.
Yeah,
like every time he moves,
goat legs too,
and the goat legs. It's like every time he moves, and it's very like, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. It's like it's just unnerving. That's probably the word I'm looking for. It's very unnerving because it's like he has to. It's very deliberate that he has to like put all this emphasis into the way he's going to go. But then when he does, he does.
Yeah, he's not sneaking up on you. He's announcing his presence. Mm-hmm. And you can hear him changling and changling all up the block.
Changling.
Changling. I don't know. Onomatopoeia.
Scary festive Wookiee. That's what he is.
Very festive Wookiee.
I know we'll eventually get to like his actual look of the face, but I think I agree with Amateur Analyst. The longer you can kind of like put off the reveal, the more suspense builds.
Yeah,
well, that's the normal process of any monster movie, and I really do appreciate Michael Dougherty for adding like the monster movie process to this and treating Krampus like an actual monster, because a lot of them since Krampus is the main focus, he's probably the person that would knock on the door. They wouldn't have sent any elves or anything like that if it was another person making this movie. So Michael Dougherty for the win again.
Yeah, it shows a bit of like creative discipline there, that they don't just take their best idea and throw it in your face right away. Like they build up to it meaningfully. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's not just Krampus showing up at the door. That's like they start with that creepy ass hook and the gingerbread cookie and all that. Like they build up to it.
So poor DHL guy, he was just doing his job, man. He was delivering packages really well.
Union's gonna be pissed.
DHL will die delivering your Christmas presents to you.
I'm lozenging up as best I can, Stupenzo.
I'm joking. You just need a sip of water, bro. That's all you need.
Yeah, dude. And yeah, so Beth basically gets attacked by Krampus, and well, she doesn't get attacked by Krampus. Krampus walks next to her and leaves a jack-in-the-box, like that was shown in the trailer, and she gets got by the jack-in-the-box, which pretty cool reveal that we'll have later. I just love
I like that bit.
Yeah,
like, little creepy eyeballs just pop out, and that's all we really get, doesn't it?
tiny eyeballs as well. It's really, really good. And yeah, so we cut back to the house, and it's just Max looking outside and discovering even more snowmen, which is quite terrifying as well.
Pretty good.
Well, yeah, and then the snowmen, like, they keep popping up as someone's killed, basically.
Yeah, that was something I noticed.
I think it's supposed to be representative, because I think at one point you even notice that they're kind of wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, you noticed that with what's his
the
name?
front door, really?
Howie Jr. You noticed that with Howie Jr. when he gets taken, because I don't know if I have the perfect still, but when well, I'll mention it when we get to that side. But yeah, you're right. They do wear clothes of people that
it's like some sort of like something, an article of something that they had is
kind of like
on
a
snowman.
Yes, and yeah, so. Finally, we have Toni Collette and Adam Scott actually sitting down and talking, which I think is one of the best aspects of the film, is the fact that after Max basically cussed everyone out and pointed out everyone's flaws, they're trying to fix it progressively. You can tell that they are hesitant to speak to each other, but they are making a massive effort, whereas they weren't at all before. And it's like,
and it's a nicely framed scene, that, isn't it? Look at that. I mean, it's again, it throws the horror at you and then brings you back to Christmas themes and family, and it's quite nice. It's a very nicely put together little scene, that
it is. And
it's also like that older aunt said, when his letter's read, he gets into a fight. And Max has to go to his room. The older aunt's like, hell, this kid needs to be. He's gonna. He told the truth, basically. I mean,
he deserves an award for saying the truth. It's
Right. Also forgot about my favorite line from her. Looks like Martha Stewart puked in here.
Man, and yeah, so you've got Omi and Max, and they're all just trying to basically like to live. But you've got Howard and Tom that take the Lucinda, which is the car, because the car.
I love how he named his truck. That's amazing.
Of course he does. Don't you name your cars? I name all my vehicles.
Lucinda's
you gotta name your vehicles.
Yeah,
I named my first truck.
You got to name your vehicles.
And yeah, so they hatch a plan. What they want to do is just a little recon mission to go around town. So mainly they want to pick up Beth, and then after that they want to check around and see if there's any sign of life. And so they come across the snowplow, which, of course, this is pretty weird.
Which, might I add, they already set up for this, because it's kind of similar how they do it in Home Alone.
The snowplow?
No. The fact that they explain why there's nobody else around. There's a quick scene where they go like, oh, they're in Hawaii. They went down to Florida.
We should ask the neighbors across the street, and it's like, they're in Florida. The other neighbors are over there. We're all alone out here.
Like basically, we're the only idiots who stayed here. Like that's so it's they do account for that. That's all I had.
No, it's good. It's like it just sets it up. Really, again, it's all about expedience and getting the plot moving and closing down those little plot holes, isn't it? It's just closing.
It isolates them, because if you don't isolate them, this incident they have to account for a lot more deaths,
exactly,
a lot more like different things that don't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does like still bring up the question of the fact, because they do visit Derek's home right after this, which I will point out, but it does start to bring in the attention is, did Krampus kill the entire like suburb?
I think the first snowman is the boyfriend. Because they never explain that. All of a sudden, the snowman just crops up, and he's the only one who's not accounted for from that point in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was the DHL guy, but the boyfriend definitely makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because
especially I guess seeing the house after.
Yeah, because they're like abducted or whatever and sent to the underworld or
and
whatever.
Did it have a snow bong with it? Did anybody notice a snow bong?
But here's the thing: is also because the whole thing is that it's the order of the note for the most part. Her main reason why it's not the same between them for this is because of her boyfriend.
Right.
So like he's part of the problem, part of the sin, so to say.
Right.
That is true.
Well,
yeah.
They're also driving in Lucinda, right? First of all, Grandma tells them, don't go. And she's like, I have to.
Mm-hmm.
They go. They get in Lucinda, and they're talking about how it's like negative 20 degrees. And then Howard's like, God, what I'd kill for some Bing Crosby
Bing
right
Crosby.
now. Because all the radios are
That's
down.
a great. I love that because it's like you see, what's the main? What's his name? What's the father's name?
Tom?
Adam.
Yeah, Adam Scott.
Tom and Howard.
Yeah, okay. So Adam Scott. Let's go with Adam Scott. He kind of looks at him like, "Oh, you're like that. I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of interesting." It's like that's like the start of their bond, so to say, because they start to bond.
Yeah, there's just a tiny look between the two of them, isn't there? It's like just a little.
They kind of realize like that their misconceptions about each other aren't as bad.
Yeah, he's not an inhuman beast. He's actually okay. A little bit of him's all right.
Ass truck and a bunch of stupid kids. You know?
Yeah,
He's got a cool shotgun with a lamp on it too. Plus, he's got
I mean, that's just America.
Yeah,
357 Magnum.
You find the snowplow turned over, smashed out. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the big old shotty. And then what does he say? He says like, "Oh, this handgun's heavy." And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's Linda's.
It's Linda's.
that's Linda's, yeah.
I mean, that is like a 44 Magnum, or 357 Magnum. It's a heavy handgun.
Yeah, not the best choice in really cold weather either, but whatever.
Well, not the best choice ever, I guess.
Honestly, the more powerful a handgun, the harder it is to control.
Yeah,
so
it's 2023. Just get a Glock.
You guys ever play catch with like a football when it's really cold outside? Like how it stings your hands, you know? Like, that's what we're talking about here. It's gonna hurt. It literally hurt your hands firing that thing.
You've got back home.
I just want to point out, Stupenzo, that we are the only two Americans here, so a football is not the same thing to us.
A pigskin, a soccer ball, shit, dude. A soccer ball hitting your hands.
Are you talking about Socher?
Dude, don't worry. If Dark Hour and Stupenzo say football, I know what you guys are talking about.
We're talking about the real football.
Yeah, I mean, we're the only Americans, hence we're the only Philistines here. That's how it is.
You're talking about the shitty version of rugby, you know?
Rugby with ad breaks.
Yeah,
so
rugby with
a higher rate of concussions.
Just like how Coca-Cola perverted Santa. Yeah, like we perverted rugby and turned it into football, you know?
Yeah,
big corporate thing.
Yeah, CLS football equals soccer ball. Yep, that's facts, you know.
And egg.
And egg, yeah. Well, it teaches good, wholesome American spirit, you know, taking other people's land by force, wearing tight pants while you do it,
using the shotgun and your aerial bombardments.
Yeah.
What was it, George Carlin? Like, I could know how to fix football. Just have all the players play at once and leave all the injured players on the field. There you go. The game would be amazing.
So like back home, you've got weird noises coming from the attic, which we'll see what
Squirrels.
they are later.
Squirrels playing with their nuts.
It's like a really loud noise, isn't it? It's like, clearly it's not squirrels.
I love Bertha's thing. Yeah, in this weather, squirrels. Yeah.
Yeah, it's squirrels, and then boom, it's like, oh yeah, they're probably playing with their nuts. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's the biggest fucking squirrel. I don't know how big the squirrels get where you're at, but they don't get that big.
Yeah, the ones in New York are pretty big.
I would think there's a bear on the roof.
Squirrels.
Like after what happened, you know, I'd be like, holy crap.
Dude, I wouldn't go investigate either. I'd just say, yeah, it's squirrels, because fuck it, we have kids around. We shouldn't like spook them already.
I also really love her investigation style of sticking her head over a fire.
Yeah, they do that several times. They do that several times.
Could happen.
I mean,
that is a gigantic fireplace.
Oh,
Does anyone actually have that shit anymore?
No.
Unless you're rich, like Kevin McAllister type of money. That's how you do it. But yeah, and yeah. So one thing I wanted to do is compliment the set design. So this is at the point here, Tom and Howard are gone inside Derek's house, and so yeah, this is them investigating. And man, the set design is just really good. The way they made everything seem frozen.
Yeah, that's got Weta written all over it.
Dude. And it's like, yeah, look.
The fake
Lord
snow,
Farquaad.
the fake snow was made out of like the diaper insulation, apparently.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's got that nice sparkly
Yeah.
effect to it.
Yeah.
It's way better than that rice shit they were using before. I didn't buy that. It looked like packing foam. But this
Yeah,
looks
so, like,
way
if
better. It
you
actually
cut- if
looks
you
cold.
Yeah. If you cut open a diaper, that's like the absorbent material inside of it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's what they used.
Yes.
It's like,
Nice
definitely for like the big snow on the ground. That's what they use. I don't know about like the ice all over the walls and stuff. It looks like a spray.
Yeah, they
I
probably
also
just
love
mix
how,
it with
sprayed it
glue
on.
and spray it. Yeah.
I also love how the Adam Scott, his it's so cold you're sweating. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's
And they're
like
really
hypothermia
red
setting
too.
in. Yeah. It's good.
It's like, no, dude. And here you go. The first instance of Krampus and how he does his work. Well, at least at this point in the movie, you don't know that it's Krampus coming down the chimney.
I would have the
So-
same thought that Howard has. It looks like their fireplace exploded and everyone, I don't know what happened. It was like a
Evacuated,
big-
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas
It's like a scene from The Thing, isn't it? It's like just kind of investigating, the other base, and you're just trying to
In a
work
few
out.
years, we're gonna make a prequel about what happened at Date Dec's house. Explain
Yeah,
it
exactly.
all.
That's where it's going. The Krampus multiverse.
I do love that like subversion of the Santa Claus thing where you're like busting down the chimney and like breaking through the
Ooh, yeah.
wall. It's almost like imagery. It's great. I love that.
Yeah, I
Man.
mean, huge hoof prints. I'd be like, okay, the house exploded, everyone left, and a moose walked in here.
And it's
That's
a-
what,
Yeah.
that's how I'd be thinking.
It's a cool setup for like the reveal of Krampus later too, because like
Yeah.
they're sort of building that anticipation, showing you like the afterwards, and then later you watch him actually come down the chimney. So
And even the fact that like everything is completely frozen. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that detail, but it happens when Krampus comes down the chimney. Everything starts to freeze in the house.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
It's not because of the blizzard and not because of an open window or something. It's like it's
it's
so
not the day
weird.
after tomorrow.
Krampus is a metaphor for climate change, bro.
It's a bit like my Tinder dates. I bring a frosty atmosphere to all of them.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He makes a comment about he says, "Oh look, they're like goat prints or hoof prints or whatever," and he says, "Oh, but walking on hind legs." And I was like, I wasn't quite sure how he'd actually come to that conclusion.
Unless there were only like one set of 2 footprints,
Maybe
well, that
I
is
suppose
what
the
it
fact
is.
that he's an Eagle Scout.
Krampus is carrying him the whole time, dude.
Yeah.
Cheers,
I
CLS.
forget what they call it, but like I know that when cats take steps, they actually are like their body will step into the footprints again. So it doesn't
Yeah, they
look
walk
like
in
it's
line.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some
Little
people.
ninjas, bro. They're little ninjas.
Like
Yeah.
sand people, they always walk in single file.
To hide their numbers.
So in fact we get our first instance of the I don't even know what to call it, the snake monster, I guess.
Yeah, you never actually see it, do you?
No, you never see it. You just hear it. Sounds like a rattlesnake actually. But
It's a
let me
nod
play
to the
clip.
garbage chute.
No jaws.
Something's burning me! Tommy?
But a cool line there.
Tommy.
Yeah, I love that little
Careful.
moment where he's like, "Are you gonna shoot me?"
It's
Also,
like,
like,
there's no saving you. Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
You're
fuck
You
it.
know what to do, Rico.
But I don't know if the noise is familiar to you guys, but ever since I first watched the Krampus movie, that sound that the snake makes it seems very familiar, but I've never been able to pinpoint where it comes from.
I have to listen to it again. I have a good
Play
ear
it
for
one more
that
time.
sound
Play it one
design.
more
Yeah,
time.
play one more time. Go on, give us a
Something's burning me! Tommy?
I know where that's from.
Mm.
It's a
That's
kid's
from the
dream.
thing when what's his name?
Yes.
Norris's
Yes.
head comes off.
There we go.
Okay,
Ah.
right,
Or
right.
that's what I'm hearing anyway.
Yeah, and then they add that like
that-
scream in the distance.
It's
And that's a
that-
Universal Pictures movie, isn't it? That's
Oh,
another
right,
Universal
you're right,
movie.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think that's
So,
what it is.
You probably is.
Cool.
Probably is.
That sounds
course.
Yeah,
Cool.
for the sound
see.
effects. Yeah, fucking finally,
I'm
dude. since
excited for movie
2015.
trivia on Lance's channel. I think I'm gonna do well.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do well on it.
Let's form a pub quiz. I think we'll nail it.
All right.
So Lucille is completely dead. Well, is it Lucille or Lucinda?
Lucinda.
Lucinda.
Dude, Lucille was Negan's bat. Getting confused with Walking Dead.
I do love how they play this off as such like a final scene too, but it's
Yeah,
not.
it's like
It's
the
like-
death of a friend. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
It should
You know
get
what
its
I mean?
own
Like-
snowman, shouldn't it?
I
doesn't
gotta
like
admit,
read
I
off,
was
like-
I was more sad for the loss of the Hummer than any of the people.
Me too, actually.
It's like fuck, man. Hummers are a dime a dozen now, or no, sorry, the opposite
People-
of that.
people are a
They're kind
dime
of
a
a
dozen.
rarity.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but I mean, like the way that they pull the camera out and he's like screaming about it, it almost plays off as if that was the end of the movie. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Stella.
Yeah, he needs to be
Beginning of-
shouting and looking up at the screen, doesn't he? As the camera moves up above him.
People think the beginning of the second act. People think the beginning of the second act starts when the sister gets, killed, or stolen or whatever. But it's really when Lucinda gets destroyed. That
Yeah.
the second
Yeah.
act really begins.
Oh yes, for sure. I mean, it was kind of like, well, Dark Hour. You've seen Godzilla -1. It's kind of like Godzilla -1.
Yes,
you're like-
I may have seen that movie.
The
yes.
spoilers. I did.
I got chewed out for spoilers when I asked on open bar, "Hey, what's our spoiler policy?" Everyone said no spoilers. I went, "Okay, I'll stick with that." Like,
Hey,
Dude,
Dark Hour. Who gives a
yeah.
shit what the chat says? I mean, just do you,
I
buddy.
care.
Don't let it beat you up. Is what I'm getting at.
And
You said I
well,
look
yes.
green on the chat, so I'm not going to be on camera today.
Well, no, I just look like shit today, man.
Dark Hour is sick today, man. And I mean, yeah. And so yeah, so what's going on is that you've got damn, what's his name? Adam Scott and Howard. They're basically come back, and Howard's just screaming up, lock everything, get all the weapons, get all the pans too. It's like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I'd actually put water in pans and I'd boil it, and just in case, whenever something comes, just throw the boiling water on an enemy. That's
Not a bad
good
tactic.
Oh yeah, that's from what's his name? That Neil Marshall movie. I forget, the werewolf one.
Oh, okay.
Dog
I was about to
soldiers.
say
Dog
that's like an old medieval
Dog
tactic,
soldiers.
man.
Yes,
There you
I
go,
would like to
Jay.
point this out. Jay Goodwin has a great point. They said no spoilers, and then I shut up, and everybody else kept talking.
Spoiled everything.
I've refused to watch that stream because I want to go in dry. I want to watch
Spoilers.
Godzilla next week.
Spoilers: Godzilla destroys Japan. Japan.
Oh no,
You
can't
monster.
watch it now.
In my comments in my actual video, somebody said, "I didn't realize you were going to spoil the movie." I said, "I stopped talking about it halfway through the movie. Like, how can you be that surprised that Godzilla beats shit up?"
I was like, Dark Hour's autism setting in where he's not understanding sarcasm in the comments. It's
I'm not.
It's not. Yeah, you're taking everything literally. I didn't spoil anything. The guy was joking.
By the way,
Hey,
everybody, I would like to announce that I have crossed the 3,000 threshold on my.
Yeah, hell
on
yeah.
my
Nice.
subscribe.
Yeah.
We were
Yay.
talking about it yesterday. How it's like within the next day, it's gonna happen.
It starts to snowball eventually. Eventually, it just happens.
I mean,
I'm
yeah. I
this
mean,
close
look
to
at me. I
300,
crossed-
so,
I
yeah.
crossed
We're gonna
5K,
get you there.
so-
If anybody in our 15 people out there has not subscribed to Stupenzo yet,
alright.
make sure you do it.
Oh, analysts got over 500.
yo,
man.
Coco.
I did promise B-sides that I pimped them out as well. They think they've just crawled over 500, so
Right.
they're
B-sides.
starting it.
B-sides.
Yes,
come and play
yes,
with
the
the
chat
fans.
does read me. Actually,
I'm also glad that Jay got his own Twitter. I guess is that a new thing, or did I never notice that?
no, he
I
just got it.
don't know.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about
Cool.
that because a lot of my a lot of the stuff for Two Hose runs through Twitter.
True. And so yeah, Copa was good, man. And so at this point they've come back. Everyone's completely in panic mode, especially Howard. And this is where I do think that the film really shines, because I think that Howard is someone who, the reason why he didn't like Tom at the beginning is because Howard needs to be someone who you have to try and prove your worth to him.
Right.
And at
Yeah.
this point,
Yeah, he's the
what
alpha,
Tom-
isn't he? He's the alpha male.
Yeah. It's like
And
at
he
this
sees
point,
him
Tom is
clearly as a
proving
beta.
him.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah. And Tom
He thought he
has
was
proved
weak.
him.
And he proved
Exactly.
himself not to be.
And it's
Prove
now
yourself
it's
to
a
be
complete
brave.
role reversal, because Tom is the only person that's actually, calm in this situation. He's like, Howard, don't do it here, not in front of the kids. You have to wait. We have to talk about this. We have to strategize. And it's like, Howard's like, yep, you're right. I
But
respect
also, just
you.
like the boys, like going to the strip club or whatever, like Howard immediately picks up and is like, "Yep, absolutely, nothing happened. Fell in a bear trap. No big deal."
Yeah, I was not drinking champagne off of somebody's foot. No.
yeah.
It was a bear trap. Yeah, bear
Howard,
trap. That was
do we know anything about Howard's character, like his history? Because he kind of strikes me like an ex-marine or something.
no.
He does
All I
say
know is
something
that
like
he had
that
a
when
shotgun
they're at
wedding.
dinner
That's
where
it.
like he's like, "Oh, you're training. What did you train for? Military special forces." I mean, he doesn't really say that he did anything like that. I don't think, but
I don't think he did.
It's like alluded. Maybe he was like
I
law
always,
enforcement.
I always assumed that he was just like a former football player in high school. The whole movie. I just
Maybe.
assumed that.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's
it's a
just
bit of,
living off his clout from high school football. Yeah, that tracks.
Honestly,
Possibly in the territorials.
Sorry, a high school hand egg player.
What's the American version of the territorials?
honestly, it's always
The
better. It's always
territorials, I don't even know
better.
what that is.
Like
You
in
know
movies that-
the weekend soldiers. You know the they're in Southern Comfort. You know the those
know.
guys that aren't actually in the proper military. They're just they're
Right.
playing at
Oh,
it.
What,
we
reserves?
would call those militia. That's all.
Right.
Militia. Okay.
Well, here's the
Oh,
other thing.
okay.
It's like this idea that, like in movies, it's just like something that's kind of foreign to America, people that aren't American. But like, oh, he's got a bunch of guns and he's into that stuff. He must be in the military, or he must be. No, he's just a guy. That's
It's
what's so
America.
cool about America. You could just have a dude who's like an accountant, but he has all these guns and trucks and loves it as a hobby. You know,
Yeah.
that's what's so cool about this place.
National Guard is what I was thinking about, and Jay just reminded me.
National
Thank you,
Guard.
sir.
There
The
we
guy.
go.
He has no training whatsoever. He got a license and owns a bunch of guns. It makes it more dangerous, honestly, and more just like freedom. Let freedom ring, baby.
Yeah, and
Especially if you're in
and-
Florida or Texas.
I know.
Florida
I'm just,
men.
I'm just
Oh, yeah.
channeling my father more and more on these streams.
GTA 6 Florida Man Simulator.
Yes.
9000. Hell yeah.
Available 5 million years from now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
6
so-
million
so-
years for PC.
Dude, next. Yeah, it's true. I was about to say PC is just. Sorry, PC players for GTA
Exactly.
6, man.
Who knows?
Me
I might be dead by then. I'm not gonna get hyped.
So you've got Tom that's comforting, of course, Toni Collette because they couldn't find Beth, and the reason why they had actually gone from Derek's house, so Derek is the boyfriend. The reason why they had rushed outside, which I forgot to mention, is the fact that they had heard Beth screaming, and they fell into the trap of the weird snake monster that we never actually see or name actually, which is pretty cool.
We'll
And,
call him Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff
Jeff
the
works.
snake monster.
I'm okay with Jeff.
And so this is once again a moment of just Howard and Tom trying to bond and realizing that Tom is what did he say? You're not a spineless dick or a spineless coward.
Yeah, you're not a spineless. I think he said dick. I think you're not a spineless dick like I thought you were, or something like that.
Yep. And yeah, so they try and bond, but Howard falls asleep because
Because it's
I
fucking
can
cold
imagine.
and it's late, and that's what happens when. You
Yeah, why,
they
why
were
did he give
drinking.
the first watch to the guy who's wounded and probably just coming down from like
He
some
probably-
adrenaline high?
he was probably just like low on blood and just passed out.
Like, man, in this situation, it's like, you know what? We're both fucking staying awake. Like,
Yeah, everybody knows that in a situation like this, you take it in pairs. You take
Yeah.
you
yeah,
watch in
man.
pairs.
You can't stay awake by yourself. It's impossible.
That's a great
Oh,
shot, by the way. That's a good choice of shot. With the,
everyone's sleeping and you've just got this
Oh, the hook
weird-
coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But also, like before that, when they're like, all huddled around the couch, like watching the iPad run out of batteries or whatever.
Yeah, they were listening to music.
It's just like it's just so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about these cozy movies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
But also-
falling into that post Christmas lunch coma. Just
Something we also glossed over or didn't mention was like the most controversial, like R-rated worthy part of the movie is when Aunt Dorothy slips the little kid a little sip of like spiked of alcohol or cocoa or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
And-
apparently
and-
was a problem with the censors. And they're like, dude, we got kids getting swallowed by giant monsters. That's
I
not
do
a
find
thing.
that kind of weird about America because,
That
like,
is a strange thing in American.
we do
American
guns this,
system,
guns
isn't it?
that, but like drinking age is 21, which is
Yeah.
way too old. And like,
They
even
can
in your
sometimes
own
get
house-
really prudish about nudity, but they'll throw
Yeah.
in like an exploding head in the same movie. And you just
like
think,
Uninspired
why?
was probably getting fed alcohol when he was like 12 because he lives in France, and that's just what you do.
12? Come on. 8.
Yeah, no, that's like, seriously.
It's funny because
I've actually had that debate with people where I'm like, would you rather have like be prudish about like nudity and have all the violence, or flip flop that and be like every show is hypersexualized and like but violence is really censored? I think I prefer the American way, to be honest with you, but I've never lived the other way, so it's hard for me to say that.
Well, you're more than happy to sit through a really violent scene with your parents in the room.
That's kind of what I go with.
Not so much when you're 15 and somebody bears a breast, you go.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like like, you know, my dad was showing me like Predator and Terminator 2 when I was a kid. Like, it's like, you know, in like Europe, that would be like a punishable by death. Be like, how dare you show this 7-year-old this movie?
Yeah, it's pretty weird because like nudity is kind of commonplace. I grew up in Africa, so like my mom was like she raised
Naked.
us African.
She was just naked. She was just naked.
Just naked all the time.
I grew up in Africa. Everyone was naked there.
Yeah, man.
Really
people were just taking
really
showers in the
hot.
street, you know. Yeah.
Y'all got the loincloth going on.
Oh yeah.
It's so damn hot. We don't wear clothes here.
I mean, yeah, man. We just water everywhere. Everyone is just like has their you're just walking in the street naked. You crack open a bottle of water and pour it over your head. That was
And then
it.
he moved
Man.
to France, and he's like, I'm gonna do that same thing just with wine. Just gonna crack open a bottle of wine.
Only the cheap British wine that they import.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
the 20 euro wine. That's it.
Paul Masson.
Ah,
guys-
the French.
Anyway, we've got
Oh my
bogged
God.
down. I want to talk about this scene.
Yeah, the
All right.
Icelandic
Well,
meat hook or kitrukur, right? You guys read
Yeah.
about this? The Yule
Nice.
lad. They
Oh yeah,
steal-
Yule lad. Yeah. I
It
did read a bit
steals.
about
It comes down your chimney and steals meat smoking over the fire. Like that's like a thing.
Steals
Sounds
meat.
like something I'd do.
Yeah,
That just
I mean,
sounds like something that someone who's really hungry would do. I don't
I'm
think that's-
Yeah,
down
it's
with
like
that.
It's like your
It's like
your Christmas myth, you know, like don't be
an
smoking.
ingenious crackhead, basically. You know, that was weird. It's like,
Yeah.
but you know, what, I'll play the clip of Howie Jr.
Mm. There's that bell sound so classic when you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I
Now,
love the fact that he has no actual lines, just screams.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
I also like that the gingerbread man. First of all, he doesn't seem like in pain that he got bit. He's more like offended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
He does look delicious. Good
he
consistency.
does
looks
look
so
delicious.
delicious. Oh my god, like
Nice,
the
nice
perfect
and moist
texture.
and soft.
soft
Oh.
and not crunching and like voluminous. I'm so hungry watching this movie, you guys.
Dude, I'm
But
telling you.
like,
Yeah.
so one thing I will point out, and we haven't quite got to it yet, but it's coming up, and that's the
Go
fact
ahead.
that everybody, like, as their kids are dying, like they're briefly upset about it, but then like go back to normal pretty quickly every time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
I
sort
mean,
of like,
they've
oh, we
gotta
lost one.
survive.
Boo hoo.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Let's move
All
on.
right, we've got spares. We've got spares. It's fine. We've got two
Yeah.
others. It's okay.
It's true, especially like Howard's family. They just have a fuck ton, so they're just like, yeah, it's cool. One is gone. We can
Kind of where
replace
they all
it.
secretly come to terms with that maybe Howard wasn't that, you know, all there because when he gets taken away, we're all kind of just like moving on. It's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Like,
like, "Ah."
whatever. He was kind of annoying anyway.
what did we really lose here, guys? Let's take stock.
But also, like
We-
they all like again, like Grandma, they all stick their heads in this. Like even though the fire's out, like there's still hot coals up there, and they're all like struggling,
Well,
trying to
yeah,
pull this
that's,
guy. And then the
that's the
Christmas tree
reason.
catches
Mhm.
on fire. It's not good.
it's because
They are pretty
Toni Collette
flammable.
actually is the one that like goes up and trying to catch it. She's the first one to go get him because Howard runs, but since
Right.
he's injured, he falls instantly. And so Toni Collette's character just goes up in there, and she gets completely pulled up into the chimney. And it's her leg that she kicks one of the logs, which lights up the fire. And
She
I
also
don't
gets
know.
pretty horrified by being the only one
Yeah,
who
by
sees
the gingerbread
the
man.
animated gingerbread dude.
Mhm. Especially it's like I love how the movie took a page out of I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I have seen that
David
film.
Arquette.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's like you see the way the spiders were in that, and the way the comedy was in that, trying to mesh with the horror. For example, you have the scene with the cat fighting the spider in the vents, and like you have the imprints of the cat just smashing through the drywall. It's like it has that type of comedy surrounding it, but it doesn't really. It meshes well with the horror that they're trying to provide, which
It's
I
a
think that
ridiculous situation approached
Yes.
seriously, which makes it funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the obvious comparison for me is Gremlins. I'm sure that probably is for
Oh,
some,
yeah.
some of
Oh,
you
yeah.
as well. It's
Tremors.
a
Chucky.
great, yeah, absolutely. Tremors as well. I think it's a good double bill with Gremlins. This film.
Gremlins, I love it.
I still
Oh,
think
yeah.
Chucky's a comedy. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Well, Chucky's not taking it seriously, is he?
Gremlins.
Some
is
people
next
do
to
find it
Christmas
scary,
movie.
and
I'm
I don't.
changing it
First
now.
one is pretty creepy, but then the second one's gory, and then the third one is where it starts getting really funny, and after that is where it gets off the rails. I love Chucky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don Mancini. Yep. Chucky
I'm
man.
changing.
And,
I'm changing the two hosts schedule as we speak. I'm slotting Gremlins in for next year.
Hey.
And yeah, so Howie Jr. is taken. That's it for him. And I really do like this shot going up the chimney with David Koechner, with Howard down there.
Yeah,
and then his shoe
champ kind.
the shoe just falls and hits him. It's like fuck.
Insult to injury.
Oh yeah, and Toni Collette is just really, really traumatized. This is like, Hereditary type of acting where she's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I can imagine because at this point, no one's actually encountered a weird mythical creature. They saw a weird snake outside, but they couldn't really explain it. Maybe it could have been an animal under the snow. I mean, that it's a stretch, but
they never actually see it. They never actually saw it.
You would try and rationalize that, wouldn't you? If you were human beings, do try to rationalize things. So yeah, you probably would. You think, God, that was a terrifying, massive
like a
rodent.
tiger
That was a terrifying raccoon.
It was a squirrel.
It was a massive squirrel.
Hey, what happened to your leg? I don't know. Jeff got it. Jeff got my leg.
God damn, Jeff.
And yeah, so I guess everyone's now that everyone is kind of traumatized and crying that the Howie Jr. is gone. It is story time from Omi and
this
the
is
Harbinger.
Great. I love this.
Oh yeah, and man, the animation that they put on this is phenomenal because if you look well, everyone moves kind of like a different frame rate except for Omi in the animation.
Yeah,
so,
this was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. Actually,
it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm getting like Coraline vibes or something.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of feel to it.
Oh yeah, and, so yeah. I mean, the story is kind of just Omi in her town, and everyone abandoned Christmas because there was famine. Stupenzo, I know that you read into a lot of stuff, movies, kind of like The Shining when we talked about that on Cannoli's channel, and to me, this always felt like World War II. And a child saying something, and the parents, someone comes and takes the parents away. If you get what I mean,
Yeah, sure.
It's like,
yeah,
I don't
she's
know.
like putting some kind of supernatural spin on something that actually happened.
Yeah, like childhood trauma. Yeah, just again
exactly.
trying to find a way to deal with it. It's
Just
great
look at this
animation though.
beautiful
It's absolutely
animation.
stunning animation.
Yeah.
I don't know who made the animation. I tried to look it up, but I was pressed for time. But the animation is completely fantastic. I doubt that it's from Leica because it's not entirely stop motion, but it is fantastic. And
The shadow is brilliant.
Like stop motion,
I love the little wink. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, that does feed into what you're saying about the fact that this might not be an actual retelling of the events. It could be just the way that she's dealt with trauma. You're absolutely right. I mean, this is how a child sees the world. It's all monsters, and the darkness means something different to children as it does to adults. Adults just cope with it being dark, but children are thinking of every monster that lives under the bed, aren't they?
And also, she would have grown up in like post World War II Eastern Europe, which would have been a pretty
that's
shitty
what I'm
place
saying.
to
It's like
live.
maybe it was World War II itself. I'm talking about like the failed Austrian painter sending in some people to. if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Also this I don't know. Like you said, this like spin on it. Trying to make things make sense with this like horrific atrocity in her life, but also like I don't know, the fact that like I don't know, this claymation. The thing about the wink. The wink is like it's kind of like Krampus isn't really like Jason Voorhees. He's more like the Crypt Keeper, He's like here to teach you guys.
Yeah, or Freddy Krueger even, like.
And there it is, everybody. I was wondering when Stupenzo was going to work the Crypt Keeper into this one.
There you
Every
go.
time.
He's not your enemy.
Well, yeah, it's the thing is that like I was reading Michael Dougherty said that Krampus enjoys what he does because he teaches you lessons. And he enjoys it, It's like, yeah. And well,
it's like
I'll
Ghost
get
of
into
Christmas
it later
Past
on.
kind of vibes.
Yes, exactly. And I'll get into it more when we reach the ending.
The woman who plays Omi, Krista Stadler, is essentially my identical age to what my grandmother would have been. She passed away years ago, but born pretty much the same year, right in the heart of World War II in Vienna. So yeah, like if you want to use that as like her background, because we don't have, they don't say specifically what town and what year.
No.
That would probably put her relatively in that. She was probably like 8, 9 years old. You're talking about 1950. So yeah, it's like just post World War II. Like, yeah.
Huge
That's why the
improvement though
family's
is
there.
like they were originally going to make this lady deaf, I think.
Yes.
And then they decided to make her Austrian, unless she's like more authentic. And it's like, yes, obviously, and that's like fresh, you know.
And I love the fact that she can clearly speak English because all the people speak to her in English and she understands. And they can clearly speak Austrian, but they don't.
German.
I just love the fact that they never actually bothered to explain it.
Aunt Dorothy, she's like, I knew this lady could speak German. Because here's the thing: if you live in like Texas,
English.
Right. I knew she could speak English. But like the idea is like when you live in Texas, you can get by. Yeah, there's like a lot of people that speak Spanish. Obviously, it's just it comes with the territory. But if you were out here and you could only speak German, it's like, good luck to you. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. No one's gonna understand.
Well, there's certain pockets of the United States that have a heavy German influence, like Ohio and stuff. You might there's sections where there's a lot of German speakers still hanging out there. So you if you lived in that area, which based on the snowstorm they're getting, I wouldn't be shocked if that's basically where they're from.
Well, I love German food.
You can always go down to Buenos Aires. There's a lot of German down there.
You can't live on German food, though. I mean, German food will kill you after about 4 days. I do go to Oktoberfest. I go to Oktoberfest every other year, and you actually pray for a salad about day 4 because everything is stodgy. It's just
I can't have any more cheese.
No
Please
more meat
stop
and
with the
cheese.
I haven't taken a poop in 3 days.
I always found it weird that Oktoberfest was in September.
It's they used to start it in October. If you want the short version, they used to start it in October, but it got too cold, so they now end it in October. It was to celebrate the wedding of, I can't remember who, but the king and whatever way back. But yeah, they moved it forward about 4 weeks because it is just too cold to start it in October.
What a bunch
kind of like March Madness here in the United States. It ends. Most of it's in April. So it's it starts like March 28th, and then they're like, "Yeah, it's March Madness." It's like the entire
marketing tactics, man.
Yeah,
tell me. And so she gets the ball from Krampus, and does it say Krampus on it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Krampus.
And so she explains to everything, and Howard, of course, he doesn't believe it, so he wants to go get Howie Jr., which of course is understandable because he didn't see the gingerbread man. He did get attacked. As I said before, you can still rationalize the first attack. You can probably say, "Oh, it's a jaguar that escaped from the zoo. Fuck it, because of the blizzard," you know. And so he tries to step outside, but this is where you see a little sneak peek of the elves. You can see one here running from right to left, and a lot more snowmen.
You know what movie this movie kind of gives vibes off of that I remember is that Tom Cruise movie Legend. I get a lot of vibes from this movie. It's so good.
And yes, we're finally the 24th. So it does coincide with what they said that they have to survive 3 days with the family. And this is the 3rd day that they have to survive, basically, and that they were leaving after Christmas. So that's some pretty good setup to pay off, too. And now everyone's basically just asking, like, are we going to die? What can we do to be good? Is Krampus real? It's like, I can imagine they're still kids. So this would totally be running through their mind. And
this is just my mother-in-law's ploy to be the center of attention again, like she always has to do. Just kidding.
Yeah,
so apparently, I just looked it up. This is the best I could find as to where they are located. Apparently, there's a scene that got cut where they talk about a blizzard warning in central Ohio. So that must be where they are.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I know like Trick or Treat takes place in a fictional town, and I think the Doherty universe probably this movie probably takes place in a similar place. I won't be surprised.
I am 100% sure.
Mm-hmm. Go
yes.
But yes. So one thing that I really appreciate is that even though they do kind of forget, they do kind of move on very fast that their kids are dead. This goes like to as opposed to what we said before, because you can clearly tell that she has some sort of PTSD because all the presents are completely burnt and she's just there wrapping away, and she says, "Oh, I have to rewrap them for the kids." It's like, yeah, this is a traumatized person. This is how they would probably react to try and just grip reality.
Yeah,
and
they haven't had time to come to terms with it. They're still like in survival mode too, so the grief would come later.
It's also like
still
the
in
dad,
denial, right?
Howard, Howard is basically being confirmed what's happening when the grandma tells her the story. And he, instead of like, he's saying, I don't believe it. But the truth is he probably, she's saying everything that makes clicking and making sense. And he's like, he doesn't want to believe it. He's like, no, I'm out of here. I'm going to go save the day with my shotgun like I'm supposed to. And he's
then
like,
the fucking elves outside.
Back inside. Yeah.
No.
No.
And yeah, so at this point you've got Tom that's trying to make a game plan because you can't really stay there for long considering that they keep getting surrounded by even more snowmen. And his game plan, I think, is not to go to the Winchester and grab a pint, but
wait till it all blows over.
Oh yeah, but it is to go to the snowplow, and then after that, he said either they go to the police station or the mall, and if there's no one there, then they continue driving until they see someone, until they get a sign of life, which, I mean, they don't really have any other options, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not
a bad
sensible game plan. I would have probably come up with the same sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you do have to take into account that the snowplow would probably not start if they
well, that's the other thing. We kind of glossed over that bit before, where they're like, they're rolling up on the snowplow at first, and it's cold, it's a blizzard, and he turns off his Hummer, and it's like, dude, that's Canadian Life 101. You do not turn off your vehicle. You keep that shit running 24/7.
Exactly.
It gets so cold up here, the transmission fluid freezes. Like, you need a block heater, you need ether. You're not starting that truck. It's fucked. It might as well be a big steel brick.
I'm definitely not built for cold weather, man. I just died. Jesus.
Yeah, also like putting all your eggs in the basket of like, oh, we're gonna rely on the truck, and it's like, well, what if it doesn't work? I think it's always better in these survival situations to fortify the house, keep the heat going, put on guns, and if we get swarmed, I mean, Christ, like out in the elements.
Yeah, and what's that house insulated with? It's been 3 days of no electricity, and somehow they're not like freezing to death in there. Was it like R5000 in those walls?
I mean, well, yeah, they've just got the fireplace, and that's pretty much it. Because she said there's no water, there's no heat, so everyone's just staying in their clothes, and that's it, being snuggled. They did board up the house, so that is one good thing. Except that I really don't know where you would go. I think I would probably try and break into one of the neighbors' homes because you still know that the homes are there. So
yeah,
it could.
I'd like to think that I'd be brilliant in a situation like this, but the chances are I would have just finished off all the cold cuts, then curled up into a fetal position and cried for about an hour.
Dude, Smilex would have been the first person to die, like Beth. He just said, "Fuck it, let's go investigate."
Just drink the rum.
Smilex would have been like, "I'm an otter. What am I gonna do?"
I'm not the first to die in these situations. I'm the cute one.
Oh man, and like you've got the gifts that were picked up at the beginning. I mean, this is finally the payoff for that DHL guy set up. And they start shaking, and you've got Max spotting Krampus outside, which 100% confirms him and what he thinks about it. But he doesn't really mention it to anyone. Actually, the fact that he sees Krampus outside, because he does a double
his
take.
fault. Krampus is here.
Yeah, it really is actually. That's like proper survivor's guilt that Omi has, which is sort of explored in her backstory. And so you've got what are these guys called again? Stevie and Jordan. Stevie and Jordan are going
the not boy twins.
Yeah, the
twins.
The twins. So they're going upstairs to the bathroom, and they hear Beth. Well, they hear a weird version of Beth's voice because you can clearly hear that it's automated. So I think that it comes from the robot monster that we see later on.
Yeah,
and,
that's why.
So they head upstairs, which is totally stupid, and then they scream, which prompts the entire family to be like, "What the fuck was that?" Man, shit hits the fan pretty quick now because they've been infiltrated. And of course, they go upstairs. So you've got two teams now. You've got Linda, Tom, and Sarah, the three. Like divided into the three on the left, except for Howard. that go upstairs to investigate. And Howard stays downstairs because he hears some noise coming from the kitchen. And, of course, this is what they find upstairs, with everyone weirdly having presents opened by themselves. And Howard is out here with a shotgun trying to find the gingerbread men.
Great choice for home defense.
Oh yeah. And, well, let me play the clip because I do have one.
Like I said, dude, this movie keeps making me hungry.
I just want to point out that, amateur analyst, that you're it did not go unnoticed that you just made a nice Terminator reference of a fine choice for home defense right there.
Yeah. Hey, pump action shotgun. If you don't spend any time at a gun range, you know.
Hey, you can't do that here. Wrong.
I can't do that here. All right.
I like how they repurposed their the slugs from King Kong. Those weird toothed slugs.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, those scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Those terrified me.
So
like when it goes on Buddy's head, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah.
So one thing I couldn't figure out, and I'm sure it's not explained, but like, this is the same Jack in the Box monster from earlier, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How did he get so damn big?
Because he ate everyone.
Yeah,
he started out small. I think it's the same one that ate the little girl, right?
It is, yeah.
This might even be the thing that grabbed Howard's foot before.
That is a possibility that this is the same thing. Yeah. So this is Jeff.
No, I don't really think that this is Jeff, because I think that the loud bang that we heard before, that they said it was a squirrel, I think that was Krampus landing on the house and probably dropping the Jack in the Box in the attic for, like that. Because the first time we saw the Jack in the Box, he dropped down and actually saw Beth and dropped it next to her. So I think that would be it. And the fact that he's this big is because he just ate every single person that he came across. And he probably ate yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Jay Goodwin, it's just what you see, buddy.
Dude, what do you guys think about the design now that he's fully revealed? Actually,
this is probably my favorite design of all the like creatures, because this one's like truly terrifying. The gingerbread men are kind of comedic, even like the what is it, like we'll see another one in a little bit. It's like the
teddy bear.
Yeah, the teddy bear is still not really.
Yeah,
this one is like straight out of Nightmares kind of shit.
Yeah, this one's more like force of nature scaled up parasite or something.
Definitely nightmare fuel. This is definitely nightmare fuel.
Yeah, like I said,
clowns and monsters.
Yeah, like I said before, it reminds me of those slugs from King Kong that are like truly terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like Jesus, man. The fact that like this was completely practical. It's a dude in a massive suit, and he's just there inside of it. And it's like they're puppeting the back and even the mouth. He's puppeting it from the inside, and it's fucking terrifying, man.
Yeah,
just the details that they have on the mouth as well. The fact that his basically like his skin detaches from the mouth as he shrieks as well. It's like Jesus, man.
They had fun making that thing, don't you?
Oh yeah. And hey, look, we've got the gingerbread men.
I think these two are voiced by Seth Green and Justin Roiland from
Roiland, yeah.
It's they are in the credits somewhere. So,
for those who don't know, Seth Green is Velma's love interest from Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed.
There is also a reference. Sorry, there is also a reference to Robot Chicken later. I believe.
Oh, is there really?
There's a poster on his wall when he like wakes up from the nightmare.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess they would have had. He has full rights to that because he owns the show. So I guess if they were trying to save money on what they could use, that would make sense.
Yeah, of course. It's also in Mass Effect if you are into that kind of thing.
They had a Seth Green
just kind of finds his way everywhere.
He does. He's like sort of nerd glue. He's kind of all over the place.
Oh yeah. And they're also playing Dead Space on the tablet. Actually, the first time we see them using.
Is that what it was?
Brilliant.
Okay. Yeah, it was Dead Space.
Never noticed that.
And well, let's see how Howard faces off against the fucking gingerbread men.
The nail gun.
Like, I should have gone to my brothers when they start
The
firing.
funny part
nails
is,
at
if you
him.
looked, those nails actually look like screws. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
it did, didn't they? Yeah.
Those are roofing. Those are roofing nails. I got the little collars in them.
okay.
Damn.
But
I've
I
never-
wish
I've
nail
never
guns
worked
worked
like
that
I-
good.
Yeah.
I wish they worked that good. Oh my god, they
In horror
definitely don't
movies, they
shoot like
do.
that. Yeah.
In Evil
those-
Dead, of course, any Evil Dead movie, they work like a charm.
Yeah. Well, fun fact:
Well-
you dry fire a air powered nail gun a few times, it's fucked. Like it's totally screwed. So
What?
yeah,
Damn.
they're yeah, real life sucks. It's nothing ever works like it does in the movies.
Man,
Well, it's just like the
You'll be saying you can't just shoot compressed air and it just explodes in a massive.
Well, there's this-
explodes sparks.
There's this little doohickey at the end that wears out because it's definitely designed to hold it up against something. But
Is that
That's just because you're getting like lower than you're getting below the line nail guns. You need to get the top of the line nail guns that can fire dry multiple times like bullets into walls.
yeah, I'm
Made by
Canadian.
Uzi.
I can't afford pass load.
Well, it's just funny because like you think of like all the
Fucking DeWalt.
movies that have like people getting killed by nail guns, right? And then there's always people on set that work with nail guns. They're like doing the crew, the set design and stuff. Never
That's
has
true.
anyone brought up the fact you can't do this in a movie.
Well, they probably have, and then the director whispered
Fired
something
them.
to someone, and then they were gone.
Get out of here.
I'm not,
It's
I'm
kinda
not sure
like,
Ali Baldwin's allowed to hold one.
I mean, the director would kind of be like Michael Bay and Ben Affleck for Armageddon. He'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, just do it. That's it." It's like, yeah, it's cool.
Just
Wouldn't it
the
make
movie
more?
was
Yeah,
cool.
wouldn't it make more sense for us to not have astronauts teach? What was it? What were they?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were like
Mining.
Wouldn't it be
Mine-
easier to
mine-
teach
yeah.
astronauts
Drill drilling.
mining?
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it be easier to teach astronauts drilling?
Point the
than to
drill at the
teach-
ground and you turn it on. How hard could it be?
Stop
I
putting
fucking
logic
hate
into
that
it.
movie. I hate everything about that movie except Billy
I also
Bob
love.
Thornton.
I also hate how it was a Criterion. It was like one of the first like mainstream movies to get Criterion Collection, Armageddon.
Oh my god!
And everyone was like, "What?" Everyone was outraged by it. It was funny.
Michael Bay's power, man.
I mean,
we've got
it's a
the Bride of
fun
Chucky.
movie, but like, I'm way too nerdy about rocket stuff, and they get literally everything wrong, like as wrong as possible. It's almost as bad as Space Cowboys, but like,
Oh.
yeah, hot take. Fucking hate that movie.
Let's watch
Well,
it soon.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. We watch Armageddon. All of us.
Oh, we should do that and Mission to Mars as well. I had a lot of problems with that. That was incredibly dumb.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Mission to Mars, even though it's stupid.
Oh, it's stupid,
yeah.
but I love
It's
the
e-
film. I don't think I've laughed as hard in a movie in
The problem with
absolutely
Mission to
ages.
Mars bogged down, but the problem with Mission to Mars is they spoil the big surprise ending on all the posters and all the commercials. You know,
Yeah,
Ooh.
the best part of Mission to Mars is the sound design,
Oh, yeah, dancing
and the
with Van Halen in
spacecraft is pretty
space.
cool. Yeah, Van Halen in space.
Right. Well, bogged down.
Yeah.
So we've got the Bride of Chucky in front of us. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
with their weird satanic looks, and man, I fucking love this this weird creature. I guess I don't even know
yeah,
what
it's
the
like
fuck it
the
is.
angelic doll like
Mhm.
bride thing.
Yeah, that looks practical as well. I would assume it probably is. It
Oh yeah,
looks
100% practical. Just the
fantastic.
look.
The,
that they
the actor's clearly doing all the work there and just shaking it around a bit. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the look that it gives Toni Collette when he's just like having the side eyes right here, just choking her out. It's like, "Ah, fuck
Yeah.
you." It's so well made. And you've got the teddy bear as well, and you've got the third one is the weird robot thing. I think
Fucking
this would probably be
the reject from Small Soldiers. Like
Yeah.
like
the small soldiers reject.
one of the Gorgonites that's gone rogue.
And the movie also has a weird obsession with tongues as well, because Krampus later on he has like a very what the fuck?
Oh, sorry, that was my fault. Hold on.
Gorgonites.
Dark Hour is
There we
taking
go.
over.
Sorry. I went to go move my mouse and I clicked it by accident.
No worries, man. And yeah, it's like it's so weird with the tongue just popping out. The eyes also. I don't know. It's for a practical doll. They just gave it so much life
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
brief
It's
moments.
got those milky eyes, doesn't it?
Oh,
Stop
dude.
making me hungry, Smilex.
They look very lookable, those eyeballs.
Gives me Joe
yeah.
Biden vibes.
A million, billion, trillion.
I like when Joe Biden's had his like his amphetamines and his dementia meds and his eyes are black. like a shark or something. It's crazy. He's supposed to have blue eyes.
All right, wait. Don't get me demonetized. Let's move on to gingerbread people. Let me play a clip.
Allegedly.
I mean,
Adam Gray.
You wouldn't lose the super chats. You would just lose any adverts that we got.
Oh my god, I die.
It's gonna get uploaded anyway.
No, true.
Right.
And yeah, so just the reactions of the gingerbread men as well. They're just so well. Yeah. I mean, just let me play the clip.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Rosie for the win.
I love that.
Good girl. I do think that shotguns, all the guns in this movie seem like cap guns. They should.
Yeah, they're underpowered.
Very underpowered. Yeah.
You should be able to take out both of those ginger men and the floor to the kitchen in one blow. You know.
Yeah, you would have ripped up a couple pieces of wood for sure.
They're exactly as powerful as they need to be for each scene. Aren't they? That's about it.
Maybe it was birdshot.
Has a great joke. Yeah, Bill Burr has a great joke about shotguns. How it's like you point in this direction, and anything you have that's a problem over here in this vicinity no longer exists. It's no longer a problem.
Dave Chappelle has a whole bit on shotguns that's amazing.
Oh yes,
Revolver too seems pretty weak too. I mean, it's like there's no kick on it, like a blank. Blanks being fired.
Well, yeah, actually later, I'm not sure if we have the clip for it, but like, what is it? The father, I keep forgetting his fucking name.
Tom.
Tom. Yeah, Tom. He's firing the shotgun, and there's zero recoil. Like that's not how.
I have the clip where he fires where he fires on Jeff point blank range, basically.
Yeah, it's when he. I love how it's.
Don't worry.
More foreshadowing. More foreshadowing for Hereditary right here, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And also just like this idea, like, okay, we have a mother who's going to be like the traumatized like matriarch of a family in a horror movie. Toni Collette doesn't even need to audition. You know what I mean? She can do it.
Oh yeah, and well, you also have to assume the fact that the doll is so powerful that you can just go over and raise Toni Collette's entire body weight off the ground as well, which is crazy. And yeah, so it's like everyone is completely fucked. And I think at this point you have Linda who saw Stevie because the Joker doll coughed up Stevie or didn't have time to eat Stevie, and so she basically just goes complete beast mode and stabs the teddy bear.
We're gonna call the Joker doll Heath Ledger going forward.
Oh, there you go.
Just gonna rename all of these things.
Also, can we commend what's the dog's name? Rosie.
Rosie.
The dog ate the flaming gingerbread man. The gingerbread man was on fire, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah.
She gobbled him up in 2 bites.
Down in one.
Brave little dog.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was CG fire.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was also a CG cookie, so it's like
CG gingerbread man. It's like, no man, they're all paid actors. The gingerbread men actually exist. They developed the magic for the film specifically, but it's never been used again. It's the same secret magic they used for small soldiers as well.
Dude, I had a 100-pound German Shepherd Chow mix, and I know Uninspired can relate to this, but like when you have a dog that big, you have to put everything. You can't leave food on the stovetop. You can't leave food. You have to put it in the oven. You have to hide it in the microwave. You cannot leave it around. The dog will get it.
Oh man, I thought animals were getting at my garbage until one day I caught my dog attacking my garbage on the road. It's like, you fucking little bitch.
Dude, I can tell you, growing up with 8 dogs in the house, full size dogs, those motherfuckers
8 fucking were dogs. What, you have a sled team?
That's why I said something. I was like,
dude, when I was growing up as a kid, we basically had like a mansion, so we had enough space for the dog. And
he told me all this on the bad moon we watched.
That's a hectic environment for a cat. 8 dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, it was great. Like, so it was a Doberman and a German Shepherd, and then after that, they spawned a couple of kids.
Tell him your dog's ridiculous names.
Dude, so we had so my dad, he really can't come up with dog names, and so the German Shepherd is called Bobby, and then he was just Bobby. Like the second one should be called Bobby's son, like Bobby's son, but he put it in one word. And then the Doberman was called Susie, so it was just like the second one should be Susie's son. It's like, okay. After that, there was a cappuccino.
So he just went with like the ancient Scandinavian naming scheme.
Yes,
basically like.
So it's reminding me of like Japanese. Bobby-san.
I mean, as a dog, it's like you got to make sure your dog's names are all like unique to each other because when you're calling like one
to
dog,
recognize each other,
you can't have the dog's name sound like all the other dogs' names. So
I have 2 cats, and my cats are named after the Rugrats characters Phil and Lil because they were
nice.
Because they were from the same litter and they fought a lot. So I was like, oh, that's a Phil and a Lil right there. So like whenever but Lil is a lazy, fat, usual cat, and Phil is like one that jumps around and acts like all crazy. So whenever I'm telling like stories to people, I'm like, oh yeah, Phil just got into that, and they're like, Phil? Like what? It's like, and then they're like, I'm like, yeah, my cat. They're like, your cat's name is Phil?
Yeah, I love people names like a cat named Fred or Frank.
No, dude, I'm waiting to get like 2 more dogs, and I'm calling them Doc and Marty from Back to the Future for sure.
There you go.
Marty,
but yeah, like
your dog bone is over there. Oh.
Like my dog names were
Marty,
Bobby,
stop licking
Bobby
your
1,
balls in front of the company.
Susie 1, Cappuccino, Jolly Jumper, and then the last one, I forgot the last one actually. Lucky, yeah, because my dad ran him over, and that's how we
classic.
My nieces named the last 2 dogs. I had Mitzi and Lola, which I feel are stripper names. I'm not quite sure why they went with those.
Nice.
Her name is Lola.
Well, I'm back in town, and I gotta tell you, I miss my cat Meow Yen very much.
Meow Yen. That's a pretty
if
cool
I ever
name.
get another cat, it's gonna be Whiskers McDouchebag is gonna be the name of my next cat.
Yeah, Big Show. She's got the green eyes, and then I've always wanted another cat named Jin Yang from Silicon Valley, so I can yell his name.
Oh yeah. That's
I
a
have
pretty
this other
good
cat
one.
named Yellow. He's named
That's
after
a
the
pretty
reggae
good one.
artist.
I have the
All
most
right,
generic names for my pets, man. I had an orange cat named Ginger. Very creative.
There you go.
Yes.
Then my
the dog
dog's
named
name is
Lucky
Shelby,
Dog.
which is really awkward to yell in the neighborhood.
My ex
When she
named-
runs away.
I got run over. I
named
would say
after
that
my
was
ex. That bitch. No, I'm just joking.
But all right, well, moving on. Bog down.
It's not our fault that your grandmother was a stripper.
That would explain it.
So you basically have Melinda that went full beast mode and saved Stevie because Stevie was hadn't been eaten yet or had been regurgitated. It's not made clear. And then
it looks more like regurgitated.
Yeah, and then everyone goes downstairs and they just hear weird noises coming from the roof, and of course it's the Joker. Well, it's Heath Ledger trying to escape the house, but he can't because he's stuck in the air fence. He's too big, and he just falls down through the roof in front of everyone in the living room. And this is where all
Rosie
hell
goes,
breaks
and they
loose.
send Rosie up after him.
Yeah, they send Rosie up after him, and I don't think Rosie's ever seen again. Actually, I think Rosie died at that point.
I think it's implied that Rosie got eaten.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we hear a kerfluffle, and it's like
gulp.
Rosie.
And yeah, but when he falls down, he brings down everyone with him. So all the things that we thought defeated. So the Bride of Chucky, Ted's weird cousin from Alabama, I guess. and then of course, I do have a clip for us, so I will play that.
I like how they put up a closed caption for elves, even though it was the same word.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, absolutely. You need to know. 2 things. First of all, I like the little Nordic symbols on their heads. That's cool. I don't know what the hell that means, but it probably means something groovy.
It's all satanic, I'm sure.
Definitely not a
the fact
menorah.
I did like the fact that when they shot the little teddy bear there, that sort of gunk came out on the back of the wall, like proper headshot, like brain juice came out of the back.
Like green blood,
it's a stuffed toy.
I'm surprised confetti didn't come out.
Yeah, green blood's okay in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what makes it worse. I did hear that there is I don't know if it's an R-rated cut, but there is a version called the naughty cut that was released, and so it's basically the version. I think it's just the unrated version.
Now,
I get the impression that's more language than anything else, don't you? From what I read about it, I didn't get the impression there was an awful lot of really extra gore or anything. I just got the impression it was just a bit filthier in tone.
It also has a shower scene with Aunt Dorothy. So
really,
that's what
I'm not watching that. But And yeah, man, I really do like the design of the elves. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, like I said, very legend. All the little elfish people running around the snowstorm, little tiny dwarf actors in cool little costumes, and yeah, it's just it's like it seems like a really cool parade effect. Like nothing different than what you'd see at a parade, which makes it like, you know, this kind of like suspension of disbelief. Like you'd be experiencing this and still thinking like these are just people in costumes. Like what's happening here? Like you could still like be just trying to convince yourself that there's not a supernatural element happening, even though you've seen like killer toys and gingerbread men.
Yeah, it's a cool solution for doing it practically too, because there's a bunch of ways I guess you could go about it, but like having the sort of porcelain doll face, you can almost see that as a connection back to like European, like old European whatever. But like like you said, it maintains that layer where you could rationalize things and like, oh, it's not supernatural, it's just people with masks on, right?
Yeah, and possibly it might even make it scarier. I mean, thinking about younger audiences watching this, given that it's a PG-13, you don't know what's under the masks, which means you're using your imagination, and you can clearly conjure up something much worse than they could have ever actually made. So
yeah,
there is that element to it too.
This is totally like a horror movie that you could get away showing your younger kids. You know, I think you could show the whole family this horror movie. There's so many of these like softer horror movies that I recommend you break your little I'm talking like 6-year-olds, you know, you can break them into this kind of stuff, this horror movie stuff, because you don't want like cowards. You don't want to raise a coward who's like afraid of the sight of blood and just like can't be startled without crying. Like, no, you gotta make a little hardened little warrior, you know. You start by making them watch movies like this when they're young and they love it.
I agree.
I saw Lord of the Rings when I was 7 in the theater. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. A lot of great horror elements in those movies.
My first, I mean, it's not really a traditional horror movie, but like I watched Predator when I was like 3 years old.
Yeah, I watched Predator pretty young too.
Totally. Yeah,
or sorry, not Predator,
horror.
Alien. I keep getting
action
those
horror is a
backwards.
great reference. And then, you know, obviously like Harry Potter, sure, but like mostly like in this movie has like Steven Spielberg elements, but like most Steven Spielberg movies have such great horror elements.
Yeah,
that's what
Dude, the spiders in Harry Potter are the most underappreciated fucking practical effect. It's so creepy. There's like hundreds of them just slowly descending, and it's like, fuck me, that's terrible. I hate spiders.
E.T. and Close Encounters and some of these like, softer Spielberg movies have such great like scenes that are filmed as if they were in a horror movie, and that's why they're so exceptional.
I found Poltergeist scarier than things like The Entity back when it came out. I found Poltergeist scary. I watched all kinds of shit. But yeah, I found Poltergeist really creepy.
I agree.
You have a lot of kids movies where in kids movies there's just like one very, very unsettling and scary theme to the point where you're just like, what the fuck was that? As a kid, of course. I mean, like Monster House was one of my favorites growing up, but that movie terrified the shit out of me. Like I was even scared of carpets after watching Monster House. So,
I would say this scene, the scene where the kid is being swallowed by the Jack-in-the-Box man monster, that is like the equivalent of the guy ripping his face off in Poltergeist. Like the one scene that's like scarier than all the other ones, you know, that the kids might be a little worried about, but still, it's still like not too hardcore.
Here's just another little look at the elves because there are a bit more in here, even though the image is a bit darker. But yeah, it's like
this is AI art. Don't lie to me.
They're really, really freaky, man. And yeah, so you've got the king elves that's just like, yep, fuck it. So at this point, Aunt Dorothy is gone. She was literally just whisked away, which was pretty fucking funny. And Howard is gone as well because because the baby was taken. So the baby Chrissy that no one really cared about was taken. So Howard just follows through. And at this point, we're down to not a lot of people. And they decide to, fuck it, we have to leave because, And I think this is Howie Jr.'s scarf, Stupenzo, for he was looking for evidence on the snowman.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'll be damned.
And yeah, so everyone is using the snowplow game plan, basically. So that's where they're heading. And of course, Omi decides to stay to face Krampus, which, facing your fears and facing... It's basically facing accountability head on when you're facing Krampus.
Sort of standing up to your past as well for her.
For her, And yeah, we finally get a little bit. Well, you know what? Let me show the reveal of Krampus first. We
I
finally
love
get
this.
Right.
it's fucking incredible. Oh,
Luckily,
man.
they have such a gigantic chimney, fireplace.
I think that's the reason why production had a big chimney, just so they could fit him out of this.
I mean, sure,
Well,
they
it's
could have
quite
done like
cool,
an
isn't it?
Ant-Man thing, a Santa thing where he magically shrinks and enlarges, but like your villain is not scary if he can shrink. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, what do we
Unless they
think
can
of
shrink
Krampus
down to like,
now?
Ant-Man size and climb up your butthole or something.
Yes.
Happens.
The way to deal with Thanos.
Yeah.
The end game solution. But yeah, what do you guys think about Krampus? Of course, knowing that I don't know if you guys know this, but the face that Krampus has is not his actual face. Michael Dougherty specified, it's a Santa Claus mask that he wears. So the only real part of Krampus that you see are his eyes, which I do have a screenshot of later on, and
totally
his
goat
tongue.
eyes.
So it is a mask. Okay.
And it's totally a goat tongue. He's just basically has a goat face. I'm convinced of it. But
how is this a goat tongue? A goat tongue?
You ever been fucking flicked in the face by a goat? It's like a giraffe's tongue.
I can't say I have.
That's not something I'm used to.
Enzo, do you ever really? Do you have boots with really tall ankles in them?
No. I mean, I'm from England, not
Anyone
Wales.
know that reference?
Welsh people.
Again, it reminds me of Legend. Just like when Tim Curry's gigantic horned creature steps out of the mirror and reveals himself to Mia Sarah. It's like the same kind of shit, except it's like Krampus coming out of the chimney, revealing himself to the old lady, and it's like
this goes all the way back to like pure folklore, doesn't it? I mean, this is basically like the grandma versus the wolf, kind of thing. It's all there. It's all that imagery.
Yeah, old women were always fighting weird demonic entities, I guess. So she basically faces Krampus, and I tried to get a screen grab of what he opens, because he does open his bag to just show us a lot more weird creatures that he has, but it's always blurry every time I took a screenshot. But you had the Nutcracker in there, and a couple of other ones that we had already seen, Gingerbread Man, of course, and so I guess Omi is dead at this point as well. So
he's got those cocaine nails like Carrie Fisher.
Nice.
Again,
typical Hollywood.
Nothing like a good claw bump.
Stupenzo, you're saying something?
No, I was saying just another Legend reference. It reminds me of the little bog creature with his freaky Rob Botton hands. What was that thing's name? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Stupenzo, we'll do a Legend we watch if you haven't already. So Omi is dead, of course, and they're out. And Dark Hour, this is the clip that you wanted. So
yes, this is the one I wanted.
Yeah. So let me play it. So just look at
sound. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's literally written no audio next to the clip, and I forgot. So we've got like
fucking Jeff.
Point blank range as well. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
He's just there's not any. I don't know like how you as a director you can like let this go. Like there's absolutely no recoil with the shotgun.
Where's the muzzle flash?
Oh, where's true. I don't think
there's none.
Is there a bit? You get like a tiny spark
because the flashlight's on and it just drowns it out.
Like I don't think birdshot gives you a crazy muzzle flash, but like a buckshot definitely does. There's like sparks and shit, isn't there?
Yeah,
I guess. Like white flash from the powder.
I know. Stupenzo, Dark Hour. You're the Americans, man.
Yeah. Well, all
I've actually never fired a shotgun, so.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I fired rifles. I fired pistols. I've never fired an actual.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I fired shotguns. I fired plenty of.
All right. Here's the thing. I'll go on camera. I'll give you guys a little dramatic reenactment. Holding a shotgun. It's gonna be like this. This is how it's gonna be. When you fire this thing, it's gonna go off like this, like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna do.
Your shoulder.
It's like, going. You have to brace your left arm like this way in order to not so that way you can kind of
or your right arm if you're a righty.
But it's really going to like go up like that. Probably it's hard. It's hard. It kicks like a mule.
It depends on this man cave showing us the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
ladies.
I could have shown you with an actual shotgun, but no, that's not allowed.
Yeah, YouTube would be like, "Oh yeah, fuck it, a gun on screen." You have to say
You have to
for
spray paint it orange. You have to spray paint it orange, and then it's
for
okay.
YouTube
Deal.
purposes, this is
Yes, I'll
airsoft.
do that.
That'd
be badass.
And yeah, so he
How do
basically
those
Tom
gun
basically-
channels? Sorry, how do
Go
those
ahead,
gun
go ahead.
channels get away with that though? Because like there's
I don't know.
huge channels that just shoot guns all the time.
So when
But
you're monetized, you submit your I don't know. Are you monetized? Amateur? I don't even know.
I need to upload videos to be monetized, but I'm close.
Okay.
Yeah, 4
Okay,
videos
when
and
you're
500 subscribers, folks. It's super
So
impressive.
let me put it this way. So when you upload a video and you're monetized, they ask you what's in the video for ad revenue.
Okay.
And if you explain, hey, there's guns, but it's for one of the selections is for educational purposes, then it is allowed.
Yeah, I
So
don't know if you've
there's
seen
like
the
there's
guy
like
that's
there's like 10 questions that you can fill out, and if you choose not to fill out one of the questions, it just assumes that that's not in there. The first one is obviously like any kind of nudity or language, but guns I think is second or third, and as long as you select educational purposes, it's allowed.
Yeah, nudity is even allowed on YouTube for educational purposes. Haven't you guys seen the video of the dude basically just naring his asshole? Literally, like.
I can't say that I have, but.
You know what? I'm gonna have to say maybe this is more the fault of the actors holding the gun, because if they had just did what I did, just like pantomime the kick, I think that would have sold it more. Yeah. It's just like a little attention to detail that I didn't even notice until just now, like trying to recreate that. It's like, why the fuck doesn't the actor just do that? Well,
like, can't you load like blank shells with like talcum powder or something, and then it gives it a bit of a kick, and you get the smoke?
Yeah, but I think all of that, like all the muzzle flashes and everything nowadays, after like in Hollywood, I think everything is done after the fact. Nothing is practical anymore in terms of gunplay on screen, like on set.
Well, because actual muzzle flash can be dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if it's too close to like where the people filming it, or if you see what's happened with Alec Baldwin,
Brandon Lee, and all of that stuff.
People can and have been killed by blanks before.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a blank just means that it's not loaded with the actual bullet, but if there's anything inside the gun, it still fires as if it was.
Particle of dust, especially if you like do like a scene like point blank, put it up to your temple type thing. Like if there's something it's dangerous.
Well, there's still a casing. Like,
yeah.
Like the casing doesn't always stay in the freaking chamber.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like production just won't risk it because you have to cover insurance costs as well, which is like a big reason why they do stunt doubles now instead of the actual people.
And on top of that, a lot of times it'll change the type of camera you can use, because a lot of these they don't react to lighting changes very well, especially fast ones. So it would limit what they can use, like camera wise.
Yep.
So I remember running into that problem before filming, and there was like welding happening in the background, and we had to like completely rethink like all of the shit we were going to use, because it was like blowing out our shots and stuff. It was terrible. But
yeah, it just like adds on extra problems that the people just prefer to avoid, and I think it's mainly just for the cost as well. Insurance cost is just way too high. It's a big reason as to why Tom Cruise produces his own movies, because he can cover the insurance out of for him.
I remember reading, what was it, 120 million or whatever that he bonded for Top Gun Maverick, which is like, where the fuck do you get that much money, dude?
Scientology. The church pays for it, man. The church pays for it.
I guess so.
But yeah, so at this point in the movie, you've got Tom that's dead. They're all dead.
Not Tom Cruise, by the way. This is the
not Tom Cruise, just the other, the Adam Scott Tom. And then we've got they finally arrive at the snowplow, actually. And once they arrive, you've got Linda that gets taken away by the snake monster, and the snake monster is fucking hauling ass at this point. He's just one by one.
By the way, this whole scene, I was like, what the fuck is going on? So like Linda gets taken and like but then like the other woman,
Toni
she's
Collette.
like, Toni Collette. I'm trying to use their actual names from the movie, not the actors. Yeah. She's like, oh, get in. I'll hold them up. It's like, why? Just get in. What are you doing? Why are you doing it this way? Just get the.
We could have easily padded on an extra 15 minutes and had more time, like doing one at a time type character deaths. Instead, it's like we kill 3 or 4, and then we just like that, and then the rest. You know,
it's like redemption arc speed run.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like they just lumped everyone, and so yeah, everyone is dead at this point. It's just Max. So Maxi Pad, the guy. Well, it's his fault, and Stevie that you can see on screen. But even then, they've managed to turn on the snowplow, which, of course, the snowplow wouldn't fucking turn on. And so they get taken by the elves, and she's done. Stevie is being taken away, and Max tries to help her, and Krampus visits Max, of course, because
that's the way I want to go out. By the way, I want to be taken away by elves.
Thrown into a pit of lava.
I don't care what they do with me. I just want to be taken off by elves.
there's Keebler elves and Santa elves, and then there's Lord of the Ring elves. Like, I mean, it's such a disparity here.
I'm gonna take a dice roll on it.
Yeah, if it's Lord of the Rings elves, I'm down.
Yeah,
yeah, because there's some hot Lord of the Rings elves. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Both men
Galadriel can whisk me away anytime.
Yeah, a lot of Twinkie elves.
Yeah, we love Hugo Weaving.
Death by Liv Tyler. Thank you.
Yeah, Liv Tyler was specifically the one I was thinking of. But
oh yeah,
she dated somebody from my hometown, which is really weird. She was going into
That's how hot she is. People are like, she dated someone who lives where I'm from. You know, like
yeah, but she's Leeds in the UK. It's weird. She went into some really rough pubs in Leeds. It's just weird.
Dude, Smile like you missed your chance, man. You should.
I know exactly. Clearly, she didn't know about me.
Famous because of fucking Liv Tyler dated someone from there. That's how hot she is.
Liv Tyler's mom must have been something else, because Steven Tyler isn't exactly a looker.
Yes.
No, yeah, she's really working overtime.
He met her like when she was like a young hot thing, and he talked about how like when he first saw her, he was like, "Oh my god, who's this beautiful babe in front of me?" And then it's like, "I'm Liv Tyler, I'm your daughter."
Well, Lips of an Angel is about his daughter, which is a little creepy, but
yeah. She raised the average of sexiness of the ladies in Leeds by about 3 points just by turning up.
Yeah, so Liv Tyler's mom looks exactly like Liv Tyler, basically.
Yeah, I'm looking her up right now.
Yeah, her name is Bebe Buell, which is
she does look a lot like when she was younger. She did look a lot like Liv Tyler.
Are you telling me that Liv Tyler is one of Bebe's kids?
Yes.
Holy shit!
That's what Google says.
Oh, Bebe's kids. Anyway,
so yeah,
90s
and yeah, so basically Krampus gives Max the Krampus ball, and we're almost at the end of the movie. So stick with
sleigh bell, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's like it's either it's a sleigh bell or jingle bell, whatever you're gonna call it.
I think it's just like a jingle bell.
Well, that's what the sleigh bells are, right?
Oh, well,
yeah,
it's
like a couple people. There's different names for it. That's like the two.
It's a potential nod to Polar Express.
Oh yeah,
they do the same thing right at the end. You can only hear it ring if you believe. Some bullshit. I hated that movie.
Oh, dude, it scared me. The CGI scared me as a kid. It was really
terrible.
Weird.
Fucking drifting a train.
And so at this point, Krampus is gone. Stevie is gone. She was kidnapped, but she's still alive. However, I do think that Max should have died because they don't have a proper passage of time, and it is a fucking blizzard. He's literally knee deep in the snow. And if you guys remember before, Howard said that he had frostbite in under 4 minutes, near frostbite in under 4 minutes. So it's like, yeah, Max should be dead at this point alone. But for the sake of suspension of disbelief, we finally get to see Krampus's sleigh, which, wow, it looks fucking great. What do you guys
spelled
think?
SLAY, no doubt.
Yeah.
Richard Taylor is a god of making practical models.
And when he speaks, you can hear him from here.
Rip Taylor's a god of partying and being a fun dude.
I used to love Richard Taylor on those Lord of the Rings DVDs. Whenever he spoke, it just seemed to shout every line.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. And we worked on this for weeks.
The way we approached this was we did this and that.
No volume
to inspire
control.
all these young artists.
That's great.
Dude, and I mean, I don't know what animals they have for his reindeer. I don't know. Maybe you guys
look like yaks.
Yeah,
that's what I was
goats.
about to say. Yaks.
Bantha.
Bantha.
Rain yak. Yeah, banthas.
And yeah, so we finally get everyone's Krampus is done for the day. I mean, he killed enough people, so he's just packing up.
Yeah, his job's
and-
done. He actually he was assigned a task and he did it.
Yep, exactly. And it's like that's it. So yeah, Duel of the Fates just randomly starts playing because Krampus has the high ground, and of course,
And that is 100% the reason why you wanted to do this movie is for that line.
yes.
You were supposed to bring balance to Christmas,
Don't
not leave
do
it in
it.
destruction or whatever he says.
Not leaving
a
in
while.
darkness.
Oh, dude, and yeah, so you've got like Max just he threw away the Krampus bell and it opened up a massive rift to the underworld. I guess that's what it is. And so Max isn't happy, Krampus isn't happy, no one's fucking happy about the situation. But
I wanted Christmas to be better, damn it. What the hell? How is this supposed to make things better? Basically what's going on.
and yeah, Stupendo, this is for you, the Krampus eyes. A good
I
look
love
at
it.
them.
They're like goat
Yeah,
eyes.
they're goat eyes, aren't they? Yeah.
Vertical, horizontal pupils, rectangle shaped almost.
Yep. And
yeah.
oof. And
I like
the
how you
mask-
can see. Sorry, I like how
Yeah,
you
go
can
ahead,
see
go
his
ahead.
actual eyelashes underneath, like the eye.
Yeah, a little bit. Of
They tried to
skin
like
around it.
bleach him out so you couldn't see them, but you can still see them.
That's
Oh,
cool.
it does kind of look like a goat under a mask. huh?
Goat-ish. He's got a flat
Weird.
face for sure. And
Yeah.
a real long tongue, big ass horns, and a huge hunchback. But yeah, I imagine. I mean, if you've looked at some of the cool Krampus art over the years, there's some really cool pieces about what he might look like, and
That's
the
a really-
creepier the better.
That's
Basically
a really
Gene
big
Simmons,
black
right?
head, man.
Yeah, I like it when he's got a big freaky Joker smile and like these creepy, like
Mhm.
like these eyes are perfect.
And on this still, you can clearly tell that it's like a Santa Claus mask that he's wearing.
yeah.
Right? It doesn't
Yeah.
look like his actual face.
From
which
what I
is-
was reading was like it was implied that it's basically like a real person's face that was like turned into a mask.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
It's like the
That
god
is it.
skin from Elden Ring. Gives
Oh,
me that
yeah.
kind of vibe. Fuck those
Yep.
things.
And it's like, so I mean, it's good, but it's only on this watch that I actually realized that it was a mask because I went to read it on IMDb, and it's like, it does make it a bit more terrifying because you now have to imagine what's under there, considering
Yeah.
everything
It's
you've
an
been
elephant.
shown.
It's an elephant.
Yeah, and so Max, he basically wants his old life back. He wants Christmas to be the way it used to be, and Krampus just says, "Fuck you, kid! I'm throwing you in the lava."
He's like,
And,
well, you don't get what you want, and
yeah,
now
it's
you
like,
die.
Yeah, were
Yeah.
you expecting a happy ending where everything gets reversed? Not fuck you.
It is a
Yep.
happy
I've
ending,
always-
technically. I think.
I always go
I mean-
into every situation expecting a happy ending, but that hasn't worked out for me in life.
Whoa. Well, we're at a restaurant, Dark Hour. I mean, it's not the same. It's a bar. I
Dude,
mean,
they
it's-
used to give like
Damn it.
under the cover dessert. Who knows?
um,
So we're finally the 25th, the last day the day that they needed to survive to, essentially, and so the family's all here. Everyone's back together, back the way they were. They
we're
are
back to the Christmas haze, the Christmas glow.
Yeah, back to the Christmas haze. Yep, exactly.
Spielberg like washed out Christmas Story, 1941. That like washed all the
Mhm.
lights have this like glow to them. Home Alone style.
Really, really glowing. Yep, and everyone's pretty much fine and opening their parents. I think Howard gifts a a taxidermy rabbit to Tom.
Someone,
which is
it was
pretty
like
cool.
taxidermied something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
And so what happens is everyone's fine until he pulls this out, which was of
I
course
even
wrapped-
hold that thought. And I even love there's a line in the taxidermy like, yeah, you can't even tell the arm like got shot off or something like that.
Yeah,
They
the
attached it
foot-
really
yeah.
well, didn't they?
he did a good job of reattaching it. It's like,
Well,
yep.
one of the cool things about receiving a gift like that from a relative, okay, you're not into it, but now when you get him a gift, you can get him something taxidermied and he'd love it. You know,
True.
so think about it
Yep,
like
that's
that.
actually true. Well, I mean, maybe you wouldn't appreciate like if you do it yourself, they'd appreciate it more. I mean, I'd probably
That
get
too.
them a gun or something, as a gift, if that's possible.
It's hard to buy a gun
Dude, they
for somebody
probably-
else. It's
Oh,
because
really?
there's a lot of it depends on the state, but it's hard to buy a gun for somebody else because registering for somebody else is really hard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, fuck
Sounds
it.
like a
I'll
bunch
give-
of
I'll give him
commie
a- I'll give him a
bullshit.
BB
Me.
gun. Sounds like a bunch of commie gobbledygook. The
I live in New
And,
Jersey. Well, I can't. I'm sorry.
And yeah, so everyone just starts to like their faces just completely change when they see the Krampus bell, and we finally get the closing shot, which is them, weirdly enough, in a snow globe, which I don't even know what to make of this ending. So I'm gonna ask you guys.
There's two interpretations that I've been able to come up with.
Yeah, so these are the other snow globes that you see in Krampus's, I don't guess, graveyard or something like that.
So the one interpretation I have a feeling this is the one that everybody is going to agree with is that now they're basically this is like a purgatory that they have to live all the time.
Yeah, like a Christmas loop.
Like a loop. Or like they're just trapped essentially. The other interpretation is that they're under observation going forward. Like you better be good or I'm coming back kind of thing.
You better be great.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of like that. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like the purgatory theory.
See,
Purgatory? That definitely makes sense because the whole reason why he came is because they were fucking up the whole Christmas theme. I guess they were all had their little flaws or whatever that ruined it for what's his face, and then he wished them to go. Well, I guess we never really know what his wish is, but it just seemed like this force of nature reacting to them not doing Christmas right. So now they're forced to do Christmas right forever. That's their hell.
Either way, it's kind of like a Twilight Zone, isn't it? Either way is a good, decent Twilight Zone ending.
Yeah. I am in the minority, and I actually found out that I was correct. I guess, or technically, I don't know. So there's some kind of comic book or something that validates this, but I always thought it was it's a beautiful life, or it's a wonderful life. I'm sorry, and everything is back to normal, except instead of we just watched Down to Earth. The idea that you come back from the ordeal, the supernatural ordeal, with this heavenly knowledge and a way to change your ways, and you can make the change that's necessary, so everything's put back to its place. But the twist is everyone remembers what happened, but it's not like a fond memory. It's okay, that actually happened. And that's what's the big creepy part of it is everything's back to normal. We all get a second chance. But the creepy part is the bell. It'd be something if only the boy knew what the bell was, but the whole family is oh my god, we all had that collective nightmare last night.
Totally.
And I think of the snow globe as more metaphorical. These are all homes. I don't know. He's visited, but the idea that this is all purgatory and an infinite loop. There's just so many more questions. That arise from that.
I don't like that idea.
Omi especially, because why wouldn't she be trapped in her purgatory?
Yeah, and also the fact that everyone comes back. There's not grandma's dead or the dog is gone forever. Everyone comes back. Even the DHL guy is back to normal. God bless the DHL guy.
God bless
the DHL guy comes to the door hey, I forgot this package, by the way.
They should have given him a cameo, man. You should have given him a cameo at the end. But yeah, I think I'd agree with you guys on the second one. I do think that it's basically just a metaphorical. Krampus, this is everything that these are just a small amount of the families that he's visited over probably the millennia that he's existed for. And it's as you said, for Down to Earth, you just have you now have the tools to change your life, and you better fucking do it.
Yeah,
it's also
very,
not
very British ending. They're all on CCTV now.
It's also not like we watched everyone get horribly brutally murdered and dismembered in front of us. They all got taken away, Willy Wonka style,
True.
Yeah.
True.
You can kind of write it away oh, they didn't die, actually. We just kind of kept them aliens, oh, the xenomorphs didn't actually eat people. They actually take them and put them in the nest and they could be impregnated later. It's that kind of thing.
Yes, because that's way better.
The Mist is worse. The spiders from The Mist.
Right.
They just fucking impregnate you with 1,000 spiders, and they pop out while
space
they're
eggs.
alive.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ, man, that was horrible. And of course, the jump scare with all of the dolls. Now, this jump scare gets me every single fucking time. I watched the movie last night to make the slides. It got me, and I watched it this afternoon at 1.5 times speed, and it still got me because I keep forgetting that there is a jump scare.
That's probably why it didn't get me, because I watched it slightly faster than normal.
I'm not scared of little teddy bears and stuff. I'm sorry.
I'm scared of the Jack in the Box. But so you've got the Nutcracker at the top right. You've got a few.
That's probably the scariest of all of them. I can only imagine what he does.
Fuck, it's terrifying. The clue's in the name, I think.
They never actually show him throughout the entire thing.
His
Oh,
mouth
yeah.
is like a can
And,
crusher.
I'm probably more vulnerable to the gingerbread man, the desserts. If it's like a killer thing I should eat, like, oh, well, I'll help myself, and I eat it, and then it kills me. Like, yeah, oh fuck, poison. That'd be a good way to get me. Easy.
Fuck no. Dude, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Krampus, and here's Michael Dougherty directing the Krampus actor, which he's fucking huge in real life as well. So
Yeah,
Got an
played by
extension
Richard
cord
Gere.
coming off him.
Cost $15 million and made 61 million worldwide. So it did the business. It managed to make its money back and more.
Barely.
But not a massive success. But I did look up what was coming out at the same time, and it really did have the audience to itself. Really, there was absolutely nothing else for the same demographic coming out that year.
It didn't have a proper international release. That's the big problem. Because Universal sometimes they don't act well. Contrary to the fucking name, they don't release everything universally. Like seriously, because sometimes there are Universal films that come out in America, and
Wait, are you insinuating there's other countries outside of America?
I've got a funny feeling. I don't think I saw it at Christmas time. I don't think I did. I think I saw it months later.
Yeah, this for example, it came out in 2016 in France. It came out in May of 2016, and
yeah, that makes sense. I think I saw it when it was sunny. I think I went out on a nice sunshiny day. I don't believe it was winter time.
Exactly. And it's like Universal has this horrible track record of doing this, and it still annoys me to this day because sometimes by the time I actually want to watch a film at the cinema, it's already out on digital, so I can just fucking watch it. And it's like at that point you're losing money. It's magically, of course, of course.
Black cat magic, baby.
Black cat magic. And at that point, I think that you're just losing money because they had an Italian release, but they fucking canceled that for some reason. And they had releases in other countries as well that they just scrapped. And so I feel like that hindered
Icelandic countries that like actually do the Krampus thing like hardcore.
Oh yes, that would have been cool.
Why not?
But yeah, man, they.
I just checked. We got it in April.
You see?
So again, if this had to come out in December the same time, I think it would have done much more business.
Well, they couldn't have done very good marketing because I never even heard of it. So.
I exactly. I was thinking the same because I did see it in the cinema, so I was clearly aware of it. But I don't think the marketing was very good. I don't think you got a really strong sense of what type of film you were going to get, which probably put a lot of audience members off. I mean, I'm a big nerd, so I would have investigated it and looked into what kind of film I was going to get. But I doubt everybody else was doing the same.
True. And there was only one main trailer, and that was it. Because usually you get like at least 2, 3, especially in 2015. You get at least 2, 3 different trailers. This one had one trailer. That's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good trailer though, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. I love the trailer. I had seen the trailer like a couple of months before the release, and I was just really hyped for it because back in 2015. I was pretty young, and I used to watch these very weird, low-budget, random horror movies because that was everything I fucking watched. So all of these things were on my radar 24/7. So that's how like it came into my view. But yeah,
I will say that the summer Christmas movie is something that like you at least have a built-in excuse for, because you can do like that Christmas in July. You can be like, yeah, it's not the time of year, but like you do that whole thing, and it's like
Santa, Bahama Santa. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, guys, you guys have any final thoughts to say on Krampus, the movie?
I mean,
yes.
Whether or not I believe that, so it was entertaining. It was definitely interesting. Whether or not it was a good movie, I'm not sure.
Dark Hour has been subconsciously seething this whole why did you pick this movie? Uninspired.
But the whole time I was watching, I was just like, because I put my analyst or my reviewer hat on, and I'm like, I gotta. There's too many things I'm picking out, so I had to pause it, come back 20 minutes later, and just put on my viewer hat, and I was like, okay, now I'm having a better time.
Yeah, it's a fun film, isn't it? I mean, it's a fun film that you could sit back and watch on a Christmas evening, and just have a couple of drinks and just let it flow over you. It's not a classic, I don't think, but it's would fit right in there in the mid-80s amongst Gremlins and a lot of other films like that.
I'd say it's an instant classic in terms of like horror Christmas movies.
Yes,
But also
that
this is
niche,
definitely like
you
an
know?
appetizer leading up to the real Christmas movies you're gonna
Yeah.
watch, you know. This is something you would watch on Christmas, the 23rd or the 24th, you know, leading up to Christmas Day, you know.
Yeah, no, I sort of agree with that. I don't think. I mean, when I say it's not a classic, I don't think it's not a bad film. This, I think it's actually pretty decent.
Oh yeah.
I just don't think it gets that kind of. It doesn't get brought up in the same conversations that people bring when people are talking about things like Gremlins. I don't think this one gets mentioned. But I mean, compared to anything else that was coming out around the time, it's pretty decent.
There's so many Christmas classics, and this would not be one of them. But when we're talking about Christmas horror movies, like the list is so thin. In fact, I want to watch some of these crappy straight-to-video Krampus movies that I've never seen.
They're horrible, man.
I want to check out some of these. If anybody wants to watch one of these with me, let me know. But
dude, I'll watch them with you for sure.
I remember being kind of let down by this movie in theaters because we were such a huge Krampus fans, you know, like ironically, like, you know, with our, you know, Yuletide celebrations, we'd always joke about Krampus. And we saw this movie, and I remember being pretty let down by the design, the Santa Claus mask thing. I was like, I didn't get it. I was like, okay, whatever. But at the same time, I don't know. You watch it more times, and you kind of your appreciation goes up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So here's all of here's the ones that are ranked at least on this list that I found. Krampus the Christmas Devil. Well, Krampus the Christmas Devil. Krampus the Devil Returns. Krampus Unleashed. Krampus the Reckoning, which came out the same year as this one that we did. Krampus Origins. Rare Exports of Christmas Tale, which is
Rare Exports is actually pretty good. That's what I've heard.
Mother Krampus.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mother Krampus 2 Sleigh Ride, spelled S-L-A-Y.
Okay.
Of course, S-L-A-Y.
And A Christmas Horror Story. Every single one of these all came out between 2013 and 2018.
Wow.
That's
insane. Krampus is like huge. I mean, every year there's there's like massive Krampus movies, but like Mom Krampus, oh yeah, that must be pretty
Mother Krampus.
Mother Krampus.
Krampus Unleashed is
maybe me and my friends were all victim to this like subconscious like Christmas Krampus push that started in the early 2010s. You know, maybe I don't even realize it, and there was just like some kind of subconscious advertising because, like you said, all these movies started around 2013. Nothing prior.
Every single one of them that I've seen on this list is between 2013 and 2018.
Wow.
Krampus Unleashed just sounds
except for Rare Exports, which isn't called Krampus.
I'm starting to figure it out. It's like, you know how Coca-Cola kind of created Santa Claus. Well, it's also like how Hot Topic is actually owned by the Gap or whatever. You find out like Coca-Cola is also behind Krampus. You're like, no, how? We got to get the goth kids involved in this Christmas stuff too. How do we do it?
Dude, if Pepsi was behind Krampus, Dark Hour would fight Pepsi.
Yeah, I hate Pepsi, and everybody knows
not
it.
Great.
Pepsi is
I'd
not
rather
allowed
drink
on
RC Cola over Pepsi.
And I think
yeah.
I think some of it too is there's almost been like some cultural shift where people are starting to appreciate Halloween more than Christmas.
Yes.
So they're probably trying to combine like the marketability of both
I know
of them.
Smilex is on the panel, but you are
horror movies.
Ugly Mother Krampus.
Horror movies are always profitable. And Christmas movies are usually like not profitable per se, like huge profitable, but like I don't know. The thing about horror movies released around Christmas are always kind of like box office poison.
So,
and there's always like a controversy
it's a dumping ground, isn't it?
One of the reasons why Christmas, so it's a weird thing, but one of the reasons why Christmas movies that are released around Christmas are not as big. The weekend where they would make their money, people who care about Christmas aren't the ones that are going to see movies. It's the people who don't celebrate Christmas that are going to see movies.
Right.
So it's like this weird like zone where you can't really the demographic isn't available.
You'd be surprised how many people watch these like made for TV like Christmas stuff that are like be airing, you know, or at least in the TV days, you know.
Yeah,
people are at home.
Not only that, the like early December spot for like theater releases, there's usually like a giant blockbuster like AAA production thing dropping. Like, you know, Harry Potter always released right before Christmas, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, they all drop right before Christmas. Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh no, that one was summer movie by the second
Also,
one,
that's
but
when like a bunch of award contenders start getting dropped. Is December, they're all that's when they get like wide releases. That's like when
Okay,
that's
so
like the time to.
I have a suggestion for your channel, Stupenzo. Next Christmas season, next December, it's all the Krampus movies. Every Krampus
a marathon
movie.
of
I'm thinking about just getting started on it now and just having come out January. Fuck it, dude. Why
There
wait?
you go.
Why wait?
Dude, I'm like free starting from next week, bro. I'll be on the Wii Watchers. Fuck it.
We'll at least watch one of the Krampus movies, the worst and the most public allowed on YouTube. That one, whichever one.
Oh yeah.
I'll be on, but it depends when you're doing it. I can't do 5 a.m. streams anymore.
I figure it out.
Violent Night is actually pretty good.
Violent
Night
Night
was
sucks
fun.
ass, man.
It has very much it's like Home Alone if Home Alone was realistic and with the way that the traps are.
I found
That's
it
why I
super
put it.
boring. I found Violent Night very boring. Like it wasn't entertaining. Like it was entertaining, but it took so long to get there. And even in between the segments, it was just more bullshit. It's kind of like watching the MonsterVerse movies where you have humans talking, and then boom, the fucking monsters appear. You're really happy, and then we're back to humans talking again.
So one thing I will say about this, and it's not really a spoiler because but they don't actually explore it. You find out that Santa has like origins in like Viking, like this particular one is like a Viking that's been alive for a long time. And they kind of just drop that info in and then never really do anything with it, unfortunately. And that's probably the coolest aspect of Violent Night.
Well, they probably won't do a sequel either. I don't think they made.
I think they are. I actually think they are doing a sequel.
You sure?
I believe so.
I know they're doing a Trick or Treat sequel.
Oh fuck yes, I'm down for that.
Oh yeah.
I
love how
really
Dark
down
Hour.
for
Dark Hour sounds like what happens when you've been drinking a bunch of eggnogs. Like
Yeah. I'm sorry, everybody. I tried.
No, it's
no, it's good, man. It's good. But
it's like that.
but
It's
yeah,
like how
well,
a smoker girl sounds like extra, sexy. Like your eggnog voice is like giving you that worldly voice.
You want to come in for some coffee?
Yeah. Oh yeah, vocal fry.
it's giving you that 1940s chain smoker voice, man. But yeah, man. Did we say our last things about Krampus? I guess maybe.
I didn't necessarily think it was a bad movie. I wouldn't call it a great movie. It was better than I expected. The script at the beginning, at least, was pretty solid. They do a lot of character work quickly. Like even though it's pretty slow, it doesn't feel that slow. But like I guess as it progresses, it just kind of gets more and more chaotic and messy. But like there's a lot of cool like continuity things, with like there's a lot to look at, which isn't nothing. And then like the practical effects are great. Some of the sound design does feel rushed, but then like some of the choices with sound design are pretty good. But like I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie. And I think it like IMDb did it dirty. I think it deserves better than a 6.2 out of 10.
I think what I get from it is that you can sense that the people that have made it cared about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It may not be the best in the genre. It may not have, the biggest scares or the most the best message at the end of it or anything like that. But it is a solid film and it's pretty well made. And like I say, you can tell that there's some care and attention that's gone into it. There is some love in this film.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're trying to. I think they're trying to do too much at once.
Possibly, yeah. That's the thing. I think it just switches tone a little bit, perhaps too many times for a general audience. I don't know if it just doesn't quite get the balance exactly right.
The one the one thing I found a little bit frustrating is they do all this groundwork with these characters to like sort of raise the stakes and to make you care about them. But then like when their deaths or whatever actually come, it's almost meaningless, which is like, okay, well, you kind of wasted your time there.
It's really quick.
Well,
you could have
on a
delivered that a
script
bit
level.
better.
Yeah, on a script level, it's a little schlocky and silly. But on a technical level, like what you're seeing in camera,
oh, it's
like,
fantastic.
If you're an aspiring filmmaker, like this is masterclass like type of movie like to check out.
Oh yeah,
for Christmas, like you want to give yourself a hard time. Try shooting a scene where your only sources of light are flashlights.
Like this is a masterclass on tone. This movie, like, it really nails the tone down, aesthetically. with the sound and the picture. It's all there, both with the Christmas stuff and the horror stuff, Christmas horror stuff. It's so on the nose, I think, visually, at least.
I didn't think a Christmas horror could work because I don't think I've ever really seen one before.
Gremlins. Talk about that.
No, but Gremlins isn't as horrifying as this.
But again, it's
I
killer
don't think
puppets
Gremlins
in the
scary at
snow.
all. But
yeah, like I'm a big fan of Gremlins 2 over Gremlins 1. I know that that's controversial, but
it's
Yeah,
so long
it's
since
very
I've watched them, like,
controversial.
Scrooge is like pretty funny, but a little spooky, on the spooky side. I like that one.
It's been so long since I've seen Gremlins that I can't even differentiate the two.
Oh,
Gremlins 2 is the one with Hulk Hogan in the cinema.
2 is Wacky World, and part 1 is Christmas Time, and part 2 is like Skyscraper Silly Town.
It's like Looney Tunes, isn't it? The second one. I kinda like it.
Okay, right.
That's why I like the second one.
But something that I meant to bring up, and Julio talked about this, but like an unspoken Christmas food that me as a Texan totally relates to is tamales. Tamales on Christmas. That's a big thing. Oh boy. Recommend.
Yeah, Mexican food in general. Oh, what the
Dark
fuck?
Hour does not like tamales, obviously. Tamales and sunny side up eggs with refried beans and salsa. There's an old joke. Why do Mexicans eat tamales on Christmas? So they have something to unwrap.
Hey.
Oh, burn. I love tamales, though. My Italian grandmother makes amazing tamales. God rest her soul.
Oh, man. I mean, we lost Dark Hour. I don't know where the fuck he went.
He's
but,
probably coughing or sleeping. Or
his mouse probably touched something and then he probably just went off. But, I mean,
his mouse has a mind of its own.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, man, tamales, they're really, really good. I mean, Mexican food in general is fucking delicious. For sure, 100%.
I love making Mexican food, even if it's a pain in the ass, but I make a mean chicken fajita.
Yeah, a lot of Mexican food's great because a lot of it's like one pan dishes,
Yeah, exactly. And it's always like really cheap, easy ingredients.
Dude, you'd be surprised how many times people try to do like real authentic stuff, but the actual authentic stuff comes from a can. Like the actual Mexicans, they're all using like the real like abuelas are using like just the canned shit. Like they're not,
Like I remember looking up
easy cheese bread,
Yeah, I remember looking up because I wanted to, like, I was working at a restaurant and I wanted to like actually make an authentic Mexican dish, and I was like, this is terrible. There's no cheese, there's no this, there's no that, there's no sour cream. Like the fuck. And then it's like, oh, what you actually want is the American
Tex-Mex.
version. You want Tex-Mex.
Yeah,
That's what you
Tex-Mex
actually
is Mexican
want.
food with sour cream and tons of cheese.
Yeah.
I like actual Mexican food. Just rich, hearty, greasy, but not like I don't know why. It's like you're supposed to eat it. I don't know, before a busy, active day of like taking naps. I don't know.
It just freaks me out how they eat
food.
spicy shit for breakfast. I'll never
I do it all the
understand
time,
that.
man. Yeah.
No, dude, I do that too.
It wakes you up, honestly.
It does, actually. Yeah.
Another
It
thing
doesn't
that's
pair
funny
well
about
with
Mexicans,
coffee.
White people get like the stereotype of eating mayonnaise, but Mexicans love that shit. They put it on all kinds of stuff. They eat it like by the giant tablespoonful. They're like, oh, they love mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is fucking disgusting. Eggs and oils do not go
Try
together.
making a grilled cheese sandwich with mayonnaise and butter instead of just butter. It's amazing.
Never go to Holland.
Style.
Yeah, it's ironic because I'm Dutch, so the fact I hate mayonnaise, I'm like an outcast. in
Well,
my
you can
family.
do like a homemade mayonnaise and call it an aioli and be fancy.
It's still fucking gross, man.
No. If you
Eggs
don't
and
like
butter,
mustard or
fantastic.
mayonnaise, man,
Eggs and
you're in
oil,
for a hard
no.
time.
Yeah, my sister isn't a big fan of mayonnaise because like she had an incident when she was a kid with mayonnaise, and so it's like she made a jar of mayonnaise fall, and Dark Hour said that he'll be back soon. The power went out, and but yeah, so
Krampus
like
is
she made a
coming for him.
jar of mayonnaise. Fall.
He didn't like the Krampus movie, so
didn't like
he's
the movie.
coming.
Dude, it's Michael Dougherty that's coming, like dressed as Krampus, just knocking on his door.
I've been watching
like,
your stream, motherfucker. You're calling out my my abilities. What was this mayonnaise incident? This is like the noodle incident from the movie.
Yeah, and it's like she just made a jar of mayonnaise fall, and then there you go.
I'm back.
He's back. All right, cool. So she made a jar of mayonnaise fall, and she couldn't stand the smell because it took us a while to clean up because it was like those huge mayonnaise jars. And
What the hell did I just come back to?
Talking about mayonnaise. Talking about mayonnaise. Don't worry about it.
Mayonnaise, man, mayonnaise, and yeah, so like she just can't stand the smell anymore. I mean, even if I'm eating next to her and I just put mayonnaise on my plate, like she has to get up and walk. Like it's that bad.
Well, if you let the mayonnaise rot, it will smell really fucking bad.
Here's the thing I will say to the mayonnaise haters. Mayonnaise is an oil, it's a fat, and fat helps flavor transfer on your tongue. So your sandwich, your food, it needs to have some kind of fat.
Butter.
Oil, butter, mayonnaise, one of them. It needs to be on there. So mayonnaise will just enhance the flavors just like how salt does. So I mean,
ideally French butter.
Use it sparingly.
Okay,
salted butter
I'll
is
just
fine.
have to ask uninspired about his sister's mayonnaise incident later, I guess.
Well,
yeah,
it
sorry
reminds
about
me of
that,
the
everybody.
casserole.
My power just went out randomly, and I was like, well,
it happens. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it reminds me of
happens.
the casserole that the aunt comes. You know, she brings that big, like, fucking
Macaroni.
mac and cheese casserole. You know, there's like a heaping cup or two of mayonnaise in that casserole.
So, by the way,
and tons
this is
and tons
why
of cheese.
Going forward, for any aspiring people who want to have a YouTube show, always have 2 hosts, just in case.
Yeah, I was just here, chilling with everyone, talking about mayonnaise, and
We're talking about Mexican food, and then we
You have to add
pivoted
that
Oh,
in the
I missed
tags
the
now.
Mexican food. Oh, that's my favorite food.
Hey, we can go back to it.
No, it's
Yeah, Mexican
fuck yeah,
food.
man.
Tamales.
Mexican food is great.
Refried.
Kind of
Dude,
gets
it's
out of
weird
that. Chili
'cause,
relleno is my favorite fucking food. If I was being executed tomorrow and I had a last meal, it'd be 2 chili rellenos with cheese and
Nice.
chicken.
Stupenzo on
that.
death row, his last meal.
I like chili relleno
Stupenzo,
because
yeah.
it's such a pain in the ass to make, but they're so fun to eat, and I love ordering them. And it's always a great gauge on how good the Mexican joint is. If they don't have a chili relleno, then I'll just get a cheeseburger.
Ooh, so, I mean, do you guys know what a French taco looks like?
No,
No.
is it on a baguette?
Do I put it in
so
you?
weird.
Do I put it in Pornhub? Can I put it in Pornhub?
Yeah, I was about
No,
to say, it
that's
depends
a-
what we're
no, that's a-
talking about.
That's a Portuguese
Taco
breakfast.
in about.
So it's weird because like in Ghana, tacos over there, like normal Mexican tacos, the shell with filled with guacamole, whatever. That's a taco for me.
But they put brie in it.
No. It's even worse than that. It's worse than you could even imagine, man. Do you guys know what a shawarma is?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
shawarma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shawarma's good.
So a French taco is basically a fucking shawarma. That's what they
Okay.
call tacos over here. So if
Now
you actually
that-
go to a restaurant and order a taco, they'll serve you a shawarma. So I still haven't figured out how you get an actual Mexican taco in France. I don't know if they
How
even
you do
fucking
it is you
exist.
come to the United States and you hang out with me.
Dude, I've thought about it, like going to a place that doesn't have good Mexican food and opening up a fucking restaurant and banking, because Mexican food is not expensive to make and it's
No, it's
so
cheap.
good. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you know what you're doing, dude, if I got the hookup, if I can make the tortillas, everything else falls in line. You know,
Dude,
what I mean?
making
Like,
tortillas
Look
is
at my
actually
dad does
stupid
it.
easy.
It's
It's really
easy
easy.
as hell. And they're
If you
so
got a
good.
flat top, it's like the easiest thing.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
love
You
it.
can do it in a pan though. That's no problem.
The-
Just gotta get the
and so
dough
I'm
right.
coming to France. I'm coming to France uninspired. I just made up my mind. I'm gonna open up a taco shop, blow everyone's
Fuck
mind.
yeah, bro. You probably make a lot of money if you do that. Like, I have none near me anywhere. Like, in my town, I don't even have one. That's it.
Look, I
like
make
an
chicken
actual proper
tacos and
Mexican
breakfast
taco.
tacos where people here in Texas have told me, like, this is one of the best chicken tacos I've ever had.
Nice.
So good.
Fuck it. Dude,
Brine your
open the
chicken in
business,
orange
man.
juice.
Stupenzo is an undercover Mexican.
My grandfather is Mexican. Yeah, one of my grandfather who married my Italian grandmother was like Mexican Apache and
Mexican Apache.
a little bit Italian. And he was in Italy. Very straight. World War II was a weird time, and my grandmother was like 16 when he met her, which is also weird. They had 11 kids, and I think they had sex 11 times.
11. Jesus.
Very
strict Roman
Catholic.
Catholics.
But yeah.
Hey,
well,
on that note,
Yeah,
On that
I think we're
Merry
done
Christmas,
with Krampus. Just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat for stopping by with us. Now we're gonna do the segments where we have to plug your shit, ladies and gentlemen. So I guess we'll start with the Smilex, basically. Yeah.
Goodness, well, I'm not really a YouTuber. I'm just a guest occasionally, but the real hosts are actually in the chat room right now. So Atom, Barbara, Jay, we're all on B-sides, and that's usually on Friday evenings their time, ridiculously early at my time, UK. But join us for ridiculous fun about obscure films that Jay seems to want to force upon us, and we sadly have to watch while chained to a chair.
How was yesterday's show? I was driving.
Oh, it was great fun. You'll if you get the replay, I would recommend it. I don't normally recommend listening to me, but yesterday's or this morning for me was really good fun. There was a lot of laughs.
All right.
Vex was very, very funny.
All right.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on, man. It's I really appreciate
It's
it.
been an absolute pleasure. It's been great hanging out with you all. It's lovely to meet Dark Hour. First time I really had a chance to catch up. So this has been great fun.
You've been added to my list of people. Don't worry.
Brilliant. Thank you. I'd be happy
Are
to
you
come
on the
back.
nice list or the naughtiness list?
Well,
I guess if I get a love for Cole, I'll know.
It's really not a nice or naughty list. It's a regulars, semi-regulars, and probably never going to come backs. And that's usually not my choice.
I'm on the third list.
Well, the third list is usually not my choice. It's just I don't think that person would agree to come back.
All right.
So, that's
Right.
Right, and
then I add to the third list. Then I'm sorry.
Dude, Stupenza is on all of the lists. He's just like, yep, and there he is.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
Stupenza, what about you, man?
Well, no, Smilex is on the list of animals. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
He's on the same list as me.
Same list as all the other furries.
Well, I'm up to the same old. Me and Smilex, an amateur analyst, talked about with Nail and I last week for 4.5 hours, which was fun.
Damn.
That was
We
great.
didn't have to, but we did.
Yeah, we don't have to do any of this stuff. I'm doing the same thing, streaming on Mondays, releasing stupid Wii Watches on Wednesdays. I think this Monday we're going to talk about curmudgeons, with the holdovers that came out. We're talking about all these curmudgeon movies, angry old Scrooges.
Do you know what the holdover is called in France?
No.
So
holdover.
It's called winter break.
Oh.
Oh, the holdovers with cheese. I thought you were going to say.
Les holdovers au fromage. That's what it would be.
Omelette du fromage holdover.
Omelette au fromage.
But yeah, me and Gord King actually watched the Ginger Dead Man, which was fucking hilarious. But I picked it so that way I could have less to do, like a movie that didn't require so much editing. And just upload it, kind of like trim a little bit of the fat and upload it. And then I realized like something was happening with my computer. I guess I needed to restart it before recording. So like the visuals were all jacked up. So now I have to download the actual movie and like sync it with the audio and painstakingly edit. So it's like 10 times the effort now. It's so funny. I'm hoping it'll be done by Wednesday. But if not, it just means I recorded something else between now and then, and we're going to watch that. But
nice.
Ginger Dead Man is coming soon. And maybe if not, a Krampus movie with one of these fine panelists.
So many Krampus movies.
So many. Dude, we'll do like 10
some
in one
would say
day.
too many.
All of which came out in a 4-year span.
That is the too many part. Yeah, too many too soon.
Yeah. And thank you for coming on again, Stupenza, man. Always have fun having you on. And dude, I'll be sure to come on your Wii Watches and the Dork Side streams now that I'm gonna have some more free time. I talked to you about it. So yes, probably
God
starting
bless
like
us
next
all,
week.
everyone.
So if you guys aren't subscribed to Stupenzo, you really should. Really great channel. He works hard on his channel, man. Dude, you crack out videos basically every week, I guess, with the Wii Watches.
Everyone thinks I'm crazy. I don't know. I just like doing it.
So yeah, you guys should check him out. And of course, amateur analyst, plug your shit, man.
Yeah, well, like Smilex, I'm not really a real YouTuber either. But on Monday, I'm going to be on the Cannoli stream. We're going to be talking about the 1971 Willy Wonka.
Fuck yeah.
Then on Thursday, as we've been doing, I think Enzo's going to be on again as well on Jay's Desolate Souls Presents. We're going to be looking at episode 4 of Blue Eye Samurai, which has been a lot of fun. And then, man, I think that's all I have going on stream wise. But working on a couple videos. Hopefully get my Blue Eye Samurai review out soon. And then working on an Arcane Part 2, but that's, that could be a few months still. But yeah, that's basically all I got going on. Awesome. I am not making any promises on releases, so you'll get it when you get it, damn it.
How's Uninspired's Old Boy video getting? Is that better or worse off than my Renfield video?
Dude, didn't you tell me your Renfield video was supposed to be out like last month?
Yeah, but then I got surprise visited by the girlfriend, and then I spent 2 weeks over here. So now it's like I'm saying, some point this month it'll be a Christmas present. That's my new goalpost.
Uninspired's Old Boy video is slowly approaching Mauler territory of it. It'll get done eventually.
How long is it now?
I'm still at like 120 well, 130 actually right now. But it's
pages
mostly
of script.
Not script. It's basically just random like facts and all that stuff. But
you know the John Doe diaries. That's what his Old Boy video notes look like.
The entire apartment just covered in little bits of paper.
It is actually. I love whenever like, and I'm not gonna go too detailed because I know we're sort of wrapping up, but I love how everybody that does any kind of video essay nobody has the same way of writing it in any way, shape, or form. Like the way that so like mine is like I build out, like it's like I start with a very loose outline of what I'm trying to do, and then I'm like, okay, now I turn like 2-word phrases into full sentences and then into full paragraphs and then into like it's some people can't write that way. Other people like, Little Platoon, I know I've talked to him, he just writes clean through the whole way because he's an experienced journalist. So it's like everybody has a very different way of doing it.
Dude, I pick my music first. And try to fit everything into the soundtrack like a crazy ass.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to do it. It's difficult though, because music selection is really fucking hard and time consuming.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, man, Amatranos, thank you for coming on. It's a fucking pleasure to actually speak with you. Really,
yeah,
really
man.
is.
Thanks for having me on finally.
my pleasure, man. Dude, we'll slate you on for. I mean, all of you guys. Stupenzo, you're already slated for January, so
yeah, I gotta like figure out a way to like cycle him out a little bit. People are gonna start questioning us a little bit.
Every stream I've been on for the last like month, I've been on with Enzo. I can't get away from him.
Okay, I'm just like I'm there. I'm creeping around. Putting my tentacles everywhere. I think I'm gonna be on Cannoli's next movie about Aquaman, which I still haven't seen. I'm gonna try to watch it
the first Aquaman before.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah,
it's gonna be pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean it's a good like turn your brain off and enjoy it, man. But like there are pretty good movies coming out this December in the cinema actually. So I mean, well, I know the Taika Waititi, he's trash now when he does mainstream stuff, but there is this new movie coming out I think next week, which actually looks.
Is that The Next Goal Wins?
Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah.
Have you seen the original documentary?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's superb! It's superb. I mean, even if you're not a fan of Socher, it's really good. I'm not a fan of football, but it's a great documentary, very heartwarming. I can only imagine that Taika is probably going to rip the heart and soul out of it, but
I don't.
Let's give him the hope. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think Taika Waititi's everything except his Marvel stuff is so ace. Like he's amazing. Like his early movies are so good.
What was amazing.
What was the first one?
Boy, Hunt for the Wilder People.
Wilder People, yeah.
Eagle versus Shark is also fantastic, and obviously the What We Do in the Shadows movie.
If he can get the tone of the Wilder People into this film, then he's got a chance of making it a really good movie. I think
Boy was nominated for like Oscars. Boy's fantastic, and I think that's his first movie, and that's a movie that's like. Just like like Holdovers, it's like a small movie that just has so much to say, and it just relates to people on a personal human level.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when Taika really cares and he does like these low budget indie type movies, that's where he fucking excels. Really good. So
didn't he like reveal his contempt for MCU movies or something?
He said that he needed money or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he took him.
You wanted to get paid.
What a great choice for directing your super budget film. Morons.
It's not as if they made any other better choices anyways. So.
I mean, every director they've chosen for the last, 5 years has been pretty bad. So
I'll defend James Gunn, though. James Gunn nailed those three
yeah, but
Guardians of the Galaxy
he was legacy at that point.
I mean, I like the last one because it had an otter in it. You don't get a lot of otter representation in films.
By the time this most recent one came out and stuff, he was already a legacy director for them. So, I'm talking about the ones they've selected new.
Right. Yeah.
I guess even the really good ones, though. I mean, even when you get Sam Raimi, you don't really get Sam Raimi, do you? You get a watered down version, who has been clearly bullied and overproduced by executives. By the sounds of it, I mean,
Yeah, you get Sam
Doctor
Raimi.
Strange 2 did not look like a Sam Raimi movie, really, to me.
That's it.
No.
You get like funny Sam Raimi transitions. Well, that's pretty much it. That
Yeah,
was the
you get a
extent
few
of this.
glimpses of what could be, don't you? And then the rest of it is very sort of production line Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much money
But,
involved; it can't possibly be art anymore because you
Mhm.
have to be
Exactly.
risky to make something good, and they're not going to take any risks because there's like hundreds of millions of dollars tied up in each of these films, and there's like multiple films a year, probably thousands of employees, insurance companies,
Hundreds
like all
of
kinds of
thousands.
shit.
And you'd like to think, and you'd like to go along with that and say, fair enough, guys, I understand why you're doing that. But when all of their films are coming out and not making their money back, then you start to think to yourself, well, perhaps maybe you should go back to the drawing board and maybe take a few more risks and perhaps let the artist actually do the art,
Like, I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, guys. So thank you all for coming on, and thank you everyone in the chat. You guys are always phenomenal. We fucking love you so much, and we really do appreciate. I mean, dude, it's almost 3.5 hours. You guys spent your time here. Some of you have been here since the beginning, and to me, time is one of the most precious things ever. So the fact that you guys decide to spend it with us is, man, it just completely blows my mind every single week. So every single time we do two hosts, at least, and
which we're going to be
I
doing a
really-
lot lately. Since we're
Some of that
I'll just
Christmas
plug out-
magic.
I'm going to plug
Yeah.
our shit real quick. We have one coming
plug
out
it.
for the next 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we're entire month of December. Two hosts is Saturday, so every week
Yeah.
of December until the 30th, I think is the last one, and then
So we have next week. We have Superman, the motion
Superman.
picture.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Yes, that will be a
And,
mostly a Mr. Brown Alliance collaboration. We might
Yeah,
get
and
one
the-
more person for that though.
And just to clarify, all the rest of them are going to be on Dark Hours channel for
Yes,
the rest of the year.
this one was moved. Originally, this was next week. We had to shift the schedule around a little bit, so it's all going to be on my channel going forward for the rest of the month. Then we have Die Hard, the truest Christmas movie of them all,
Fuck yeah.
on the 23rd.
Yippee-ki-yay.
And we have a very special guest that's going to be coming on for our first industry interview. It's Kevin Altieri, known for Batman the Animated Series. He was a director and storyboarder, producer for that show.
Love
Known
that
for
show.
Treasure Planet as well.
Yeah, he's known for a lot of things actually.
Oh,
but-
Treasure Planet is so underrated.
Dude, it's fucking
so we're
great.
gonna have our first industry interview with him.
Fuck,
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's I've been trying to get a hold. I've been trying to set this up for a while, and it just happens to sync up with when Mask of Phantasm is turning, I believe, 30.
I think 30. Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
Nice.
On December 30th too. So pretty good. But yeah, that'll be it for us, I guess. So thank you once again, everyone, for stopping by. Massive thank you to the panel as well. Thank you guys for coming here. Thank you to Dark Hour, my beautiful co-host, Santa Claus Dark Hour. Even though he's a bit sick today, but he
Yes, I
survived.
tried. I did my best.
Well done,
So,
sir. Well done for making it this far.
Dark Hour, are you good for the outro, or do you want me to
Yes, I will
try
take-
and do it?
I'll take care of it. Don't worry. Here we go.
All right. Well.